Let's go with green. I like green. Whoa. Oh. Oh, I'm dying. Just got here and I'm dying. Oh. Tap to open my PA. Adaptive pressure tolerance. Yeah, that seems like I need that. Highly pressurized air is destroying your lungs. Adaptation required. How do I do that? Guess I ain't doing that.
We're both going to die if we stay here.
Okay.
There's an unknown node in life pod outside.
Okay.
Get me there and I can get us both to safety.
Okay.
You are burning in slow motion.
Uh-huh.
Oxygen becomes a neurotoxin. Nitrogen levels saturate your flesh and pry your joints apart.
I like that.
Your printed body can borrow tricks from indigenous life. You'll feel better. You'll be better. The last pioneer didn't make it.
Homelander.
Proceed to adaptation.
Where is that? What? Okay. Oh, what does that feel like? What do y'all think that feels like? Yo, what's up, Rob? Ah, what am I doing? Water. I don't think this is a desert planet, Jack.
Your safe plane has been separated from the cicada. We must reach the surface.
Oh my
God. There are no other life forms in inventory. Unless you can return with rescue, hundreds of storm colonists will remain trapped here. Are you ready to begin?
Launch.
I can't release the life pod. The clamps are corroded shut. The tyranny of matter. You'll have to swim out and release them manually. They're on the back of the pod, outside the passenger window.
Okay, that's all I need to know. That's all I need. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. So I gotta go back here. Is this it? Yep. This one too. Sweet. Yo, don't leave without me. Yo, launch. Let's go. Yo, I'm already so good at this game, chat. Also, did my thing say I was like 400 meters below the surface? Or something like that? Was that 400? Whoa! Okay. Ow! Okay. Okay. Can we not do that, please? Can we get me out of here safe? What is that? Is that a creature? What am I seeing? Okay, we're going up. Ow. Let's go. Let's go. Up, 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 and away. Oh my god. We're above the water. Holy crap. I'm awake. Hello. Okay. That's a big tree. Yeah, this doesn't look like a desert. This looks beautiful already. That's I think that's a fish. Missing colonists.
I printed 26 colonists before the sleep day drowned. Many of them more than once. This is my purpose. To reincarnate you from digital storage. Suppose there should be a colony waiting for us. Your fellow pioneers, my fellow Noanodes, working together to break ground for those who still sleep. While you pioneer the area and fabricate your tools, I'll apply myself to the life pod sensors.
Okay. I didn't listen to like anything he said, by the way. I probably could. Fabricated. Alright, we're ready.
Tracking the blue viral activity at the same source. Investigate with caution.
Okay. Wait, so what am I doing? I guess I should get started on making stuff and surviving. Fins is rubber and fiber. Standard air tank is titanium, rubber, and silver. Tools. I probably want a scanner first. That's probably like the first thing I want. So titanium, quartz, and a basic battery. Maybe the multi-tool first. Titanium, yeah, probably the multi-tool first. Alright, there's just nothing in there.
From hand tools to corrosion-resistant habitats, titanium is an ideal structural material.
Oh, bubble. Water slug. You're mine now.
Critical stomach failure. Expected C0 proteins. Found unknown alien tissue. Oxygen.
I know. Yo, the classic bio bed test.
Heavy metal assays detect bone-blistering levels of cadmium. Find a convenient way to die. Your black box will
What?
be aligned to the biomed. I'll print you a new body.
No way. I'm not gonna die on
I
purpose.
understand.
Alright, so we have some items now. Survival multi-tool.
All equipment available to TSF frontiersmen. Only this demilitarized switch axe is approved for colonial fabrication.
I really want the scanner. Open storage. Gonna store all our minerals in there for now. Titanium. I need to find stuff other than titanium. See, I would love to see. So whatever that is, I am not going near it. Is that quartz?
This quartz
There's a base.
a core water.
And then we get some air. Then I want
Colony
to...
structure located.
Yeah, look at this.
They may be close to the location of the main habitat.
What is that? Cut with survival multi-tool.
Acid can be used to make basic chemical batteries.
Thank you. Let me get some air.
Large
Help! No power. Oh, I bet you I need to power it, right? Bubble! Download. Okay. Damn. What's this? Needs power. Yeah, I'm gonna need a battery for that or something, aren't I? Go back to our life pod. We have so many items on us, and we need to figure out what to do with them. What do I want to... Right, okay, so I just need a battery. Battery. Oh, I need more copper. We need to put away some of this. There's so much titanium. We don't need all of this. Okay, we need more copper. Let's go find copper. Copper. There we go. More materials here. I may as well grab everything I can. Basic battery. And then scanner.
stranded on 4546B. Riley Robinson.
Oh. Oh. That's that's the first guy. Can I scan any of this stuff? Oh, I can scan that, I think. No. Can I scan this? Can I scan... Scan! Habitat builder. Water slug. So much titanium. It is ridiculous how much titanium we have. I need more copper, really.
Partial voice data retrieved. Anita always liked to watch you shuffle cards. She said you had a knack for holding things. Find out what happened to her. Seen the location uploaded to your PDA.
Oh, well, it sounds like they were starving, so... What's in here? Scan flashlight.
The rules
Download.
are simple. Keep the perimeter sensors on alarm, no matter how many false positives you get, and do not go out alone. They are hunting us. We don't know why. Someone made a mistake a long time ago, and we have to live with it.
Oh wait, cut this, cut this. It's fiber. What is that? Is that thing alive? Wait, is that that thing I touched at the beginning? Great, those double freaks are here.
Potential donor found. Suit surface detects molecules matching the organism from the sleep bay.
Whoa! I don't think I was supposed to hear that.
I know. You're listening. We're so hungry. There's food all around us, but it's poison. Will you help? If I feed you, will you feed us?
What is that? What is that? Why is it circling me? Help! 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 Whoa. Oh! I can eat now! Wait! 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 Swim! More titanium. I don't need more titanium. I need copper.
That's awesome.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
I am scared. I don't want to die! So I'm dropping some of this stuff. Yep, let me scan it and then I'm gonna break it.
Yeah, like on the surface of the water, like the shark looking thingy, the neon stripes, like all dark with a few neon stripes, so you can just see it.
Drop some titanium. Again, I don't need all
Yeah,
this
that's
titanium.
right.
Is that titanium? I swear.
That's the part that freaked me out, yeah.
Inventory, what do I not need much of? Inventory is full with copper, luckily. I think we unlocked the habitat builder, which is really good because the habitat builder is how we can start building our own lovely bases. Habitat builder, look at, yeah, that is okay. So much titanium. I need a lot for the habitat builder. I need a battery. Copper wire, which is just more copper. Oh, the fabricator uses stuff I have stored? Okay, then I'm just gonna store everything I can. There, okay. I'm gonna take this battery with me though, because we can use it here at the Welcome Center. So I brought the battery with me, right? Yes, I did. Battery.
All systems online. Power connected.
Welcome back, Pioneer. I'm Sophie Boucher, Commodore Sergeant. By now you know we're not on the Zora. We call this planet Proteus. We don't know unless you will find us. For the sake of all our sleeping friends, we have to learn how to survive. We can't trust alien biology. We set up a lab here with a few basic biomods. They're safe. But if you start to hear voices, or if you get the urge to swim to the tree, don't go.
The tree, the giant tree?
With you and I aboard. 20,000 hours earlier, a hard line leading to a habitat complex in the north was deliberately cut. This node was killed by an explosion below the structure. More mysteries for the qualified investigator.
Basic base building.
Hello, I am Sigimantus Parvilas, formerly EVA engineer on Mongolian steppes. Now lead diver of this mess.
Okay.
Fill up on titanium, quartz, and copper.
Okay.
Get your builder tool. Wave it around a bit, check the battery, get comfortable. Build a corridor. Put a solar panel on top. You must have power to make air. Put a hatch on the end. Go inside. Build lockers. As fabricator. It will draw from your lockers automatically. Nice, huh?
Yeah.
Now you have made a perfect work camp. Later you can add a room for bio bed, processor, scanner station, a real bed, maybe grow some plants.
Okay. Biolab. Active biomods. Dash. Dash in any direction. Pathfinder. Use a trail of pheromones you can follow to find your way. Up dash. Duh. Passive. Sea scarabs swim faster when close to underwater surfaces with the sea floor. Shows oxygen consumption when not. Oh, slows Oh! That's pretty good. Both of these are pretty good. We're gonna do Sea Skimmer. Oh, I already noticed the difference. How do I dash? Left shift? Oh! Nope! You're crazy. You are crazy if you think I'm going down there. Let's get our scanner out. Might be able to find some things around here. Yes! Copper. That's what I need. How do I... Can I... Oh, yoink! Oh, yes, please! That's what I need! I also need air, so come here, bubble.
Yeah.
Make this.
Is that Subnautica game?
Because I need some water.
Yeah, he was so excited for this to come out. I remember
Hello?
the first one.
Where
was
did
really
my
cool.
water go?
No, I never played it, but I watched him play Subnautica 1 quite a bit. It was a fun game.
Okay. Oh, it's in my...
Yeah, he told me about it the other day. He's like, guess what Sony just released like an hour ago? Resident Evil, real action movie. He's so excited.
He sounds fun. Location.
I know,
chat.
it kind of makes me
Alright,
want to
so
play
go find
again. I
Chab.
should plug in the Xbox.
It is nighttime, so I don't know if I
I
want to
haven't
do
powered
that.
that
Alright, let's
thing
go
up
find
in a
Chab.
while.
I say find like he's gonna be there. He's probably gonna be dead.
Contact. Something large is on.
Oh no. Ignore it. Please tell me there's air down here. That is a big deposit of... There's me silver, but I can't... Silver! Screw this stuff.
Silver is a mainstay feedstock for electronics.
Oh, there's air in here.
It's the 1X.
Silver.
A source of certainty in the face of terror. If the no one can be...
Yeah, he doesn't play with it. I bet if I hooked it up, yeah, he said he'd play some games if I wanted to play Resident Evil.
That was very interesting.
Armia 2
Sadly, I couldn't pay
was
attention
one of the
to it. I
last
was
games
too
we
busy
played
fighting
together.
As dangerous
That was the old
it is.
Xbox, though. That was the 360, I think, or Xbox. What was that, like S? X, S something series? This is the 1X.
No. No. No, bye-bye! Bye-bye! I found something, though. I found something. I got something from that. I think I want to make my base around, like, right here, like this area, because it's a lot closer to everything. So I think that this might be where I want to make it. Because we already have the life plot over here.
So it looks like they're saying that the X, so this 1X, it's two different console generations, featuring major upgrade in speed, power, and game compatibility.
Where did it go? Oh, it's on my back. Hey, I found another one of these fragments in another spot. And then the fins.
So the Xbox One X is restricted to the older generation games. See, that's what I'd want to play, so that's probably why I don't bother plugging it in.
And guess what? Habitat Builder.
Congratulations. You have taken a major step towards zero debt today. As a platform for systems like the processor and scanner station.
New AAA games are no longer released for the Xbox One family. Jeez.
Okay, we have the Habitat Builder now. How long has
I
that
know,
water been
right?
there? Is that the water I lost a long time ago? We're just gonna pick that up. Maybe like
Both
right
of
on
them,
this ledge.
both the consoles use the 4K UHD Blu-ray disc drive.
Let's do that.
And pretty much anything that's restricted can kind of be
Extended.
overridden with other. I believe so, right?
Then we're going to cancel. Hatch, which we can make.
As far as, yeah, you can't download them
hatch
from
right
their
here.
game console,
Come
but you
around
can
here,
still
yeah.
get those games.
30 seconds.
That's plenty. Yeah, it's basically like right here.
I don't know. Find out for
All
me.
systems online.
So now we should be able to head inside.
Welcome aboard.
Oh. Set label. This will be.
Well, if you do
starter-
find out and
starter
you want to
base
let me
will be
know,
3.
that'd be cool.
Cement.
Does that sound
There we
nicer?
go. Well, we have our starter base there now. We just
Get
need
me
more
that
materials
info
for it. So I
stat.
think we just have to go material.
Pronto.
The tadpole sees space. 30 seconds. Range of customizable holes. From the Starfrog worksuit to the Scout Ray seafoil.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Medical and linguistic definitions.
Microbial life in the seawater is dead. The ocean is blighted.
So STAT is also a major American journalism website focused on health, life sciences, and biotechnology, launched in
For my
2015
base.
by the Boston Globe Media.
Alright, I need to return to the life mod.
STAT is an international
Why
scientific
it's
journal
so
published
dark
by
all of a
Wiley
sudden.
that covers fast-paced research in statistical theory and methods. Check those out.
Acknowledge, please. You never
Oh. We should probably find out what happened there. Found something. Oh! Wait, is that a hole? We're having like a.
I'm gonna pause that.
Who can get to Quaker first?
go do a few things.
Last one of Quakers.
Let's finish
Last
this
one
in a
of
minute.
Quakers are on, eh?
Yeah, I want to check those out too. That looks interesting. Okay, we'll play some music during intermission here.
Be back in a bit. Try not to burn the house down.
Mr. Lava Lava. Mr. Lava Lava.
Promised to protect Roe v. Wade and cast the deciding vote for Trump's justice as
well. And interestingly enough, we did not strike any place in Iran last night. 13 days.
You said today that Russia and China are not.
Well, we'll get to the Russia and China part in just a minute, but President Trump has a very difficult challenge here. And I think if look, I believe that they had a plan going into this war, and it was a good plan, and there were things that happened that they could not have planned for, that they didn't quite foresee. Because this happens in every war. I mean, there's a standard maxim that we use in the military that no plan survives first contact. So, I believe that we had a plan. However, I think the thing that they didn't plan for was that there would be two Irans that would sort of diverge from one another. We're not negotiating with a united front. There's a hardline group of people in Iran that want to keep fighting to the bitter end, and there's a more moderate group of people who are also extremists, but more moderate group of people who are, more willing to talk. So, I mean, just the simple fact that President Trump can find somebody in Iran that wants to talk to him is not a good sign necessarily, because that person would have to have sway over the other group of people in Iran who doesn't want to deal. So President Trump is saying that, well, we've got two ways we could go with this. We could continue blowing things up, or we could talk. And I have to say about look, there's a lot of people out there who are saying that you just cannot win a war from the air by just bombing. And that's true. That's largely true. And that has led to a lot of people saying, well, President Trump never thought beyond that. I don't think that's the case. I think he thought if we put enough pressure on them economically and militarily together, that they would come to the table. And then they did. But it was not the right people at the table. It was people who didn't have any say over what the IRGC does. President Trump should be saying, we will only talk directly to General VID or to the Muqtada Khamenei himself. And if those two people are not willing to come talk to us, then we're just going to keep bombing. We're just going to keep destroying things in Iran. But it's difficult for us. We've been bombing more civilian targets, civilian targets, like roads and bridges and power plants and things like that recently, and that's something that needs to happen in order to ramp up the pressure on Iran, just like Ukraine is winning the war by ramping up the pressure on the Russian people by bombing their version of Amazon. Okay, so. Some idiot journalist asked President Trump, well, isn't that a war crime? Bombing roads and bridges and things like that, isn't that a war crime? That's stupid. Because, okay, now listen to what President Trump said. He basically said that's stupid.
Welcome back. We got another video for you. This one comes from
You're talking
Midwest
about
Safety,
blowing
and
up
it is
civilian
Road
power plants and
Raging
bridges.
Duo
Much of the civilized world would
threaten
consider that a
police
war crime.
get
Do
instant
you?
karma. I haven't seen it. Let's go.
After two suspects brake check a car and cause a crash, they now focus their rage on the officer.
So he just goes, I figured. Failing the New York Times. Next. And that's a perfect response to that stupid question. It wasn't the only stupid question
Did you see this guy's
that was
body
asked of
language when you're
President
a
Trump.
police officer? You're paying
He was also asked this question,
Back of the
which
car,
is,
As soon as
Even
he
more
says,
stupid,
hey,
if you can
you're
believe
gonna
that, than the
follow-
war
By the
crime
way,
question.
it's just simply a citation.
Follow up on Iran. Have you
Your
made a
insurance, if
decision
you have it,
about the
should
major
cover
strikes
this.
that you
This
have
is
referring
between
to?
insurance companies.
Should we expect to see
It's
major
not
strikes?
worth
Look, we're
being
talking to
a
them
big
right
old fight
now.
over. But his
It's
body
getting more and more
language
serious
immediately got
as the days go
defensive,
by.
and he
For
then
maybe the
began
obvious reason.
approaching the officer.
But we are
and
talking to
getting-
them right now.
So
Look, there are two ways. I consider that the smarter way, but the other is probably the easier way, doing what we're doing.
So in the state of Florida,
And we can take that to a much higher level if we want to.
they
We're
have
prepared to do
which means it doesn't
that.
matter.
We're locked and loaded.
You slow down and you get
We're locked and loaded and ready to go, but we're talking to them, so I think while we're talking, we'll see what comes.
So that's a very good answer from President Trump to a really stupid question. One of the things you learn when you're a war correspondent is you should never ask anybody about what their plans are. Have you made a decision whether or not you're going to invade yet? Have you made a decision whether or not you're going to? And when are you going to hit Iran? You know, it's basically begging the president to divulge information that would get American troops killed by telegraphing where we're going to be and what we're going to do.
Put your hands behind your back.
And,
You're going to get tased.
you know, that's the kind of thing that if I was president, I'd be saying, you leave, because you're trying to get me to.
Senator Collins supports and advocates for more funding for cancer research so that people can have better treatments, better outcomes, and live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families. Before we start, did you know that PragerU Kids offers free videos, books, and lessons on history, civics, and financial literacy? Economic Game Changers introduces teens to the visionaries who shaped how we think about money. Watch more episodes and learn more at PragerUKids.com.
And they could help us out.
The late 18th century was a time of upheaval throughout the West. Revolution rocked America, then France. The mercantile system, which had dominated Europe for over a century, was giving way to new economic ideas. The most prominent of these was Adam Smith's groundbreaking work, The Wealth of Nations. He believed that millions of people making decisions in their own self-interest was a far better way for an economy to function than having the government control it. Smith's ideas, which became known as free market capitalism, arrived at the perfect time. The Industrial Revolution was starting up, and Britain was fast becoming a manufacturing powerhouse, an economy much too big for anyone to manage. More and more people were leaving the country to work in cities like Manchester, Birmingham, and London. Factories whirred and claimed tall chimneys filled the skies with smoke. Workers turned out goods faster and more cheaply than ever before. But all this productivity had its downsides. Inflation was high, cities were crowded and polluted, and food was expensive.
Price of wheat is what? How is that possible?
Enter English-born David Ricardo, a wealthy stockbroker who made his fortune early in life. Having read The Wealth of Nations, he turned his attention to economic ideas and began to speak about them. It is the Corn Laws, madam. The Corn Laws. Britain's Corn Laws were aggressive tariffs that greatly restricted the import of foreign grain. It was a deliberate attempt by the government to manage the economy and protect the large land holdings and profits of the British aristocracy. These laws restricted supply, leading to high prices. And if the harvests were bad, as they often were, prices went even higher. Then came the food riots. Ricardo observed these matters and finally published his ideas in a book in 1817. The Principles of Political Economy and Taxation. In it, he argued that the Corn Laws were the reason why the price of food was so high. He also observed the simple fact that farmland across Great Britain was not. Some land is fertile, others not so much. As the population grows and spreads out, it encourages the cultivation of less fertile land to meet demand. In a time of scarcity, the value of fertile land increased even more, benefiting landowners without any additional work on their part. That extra value is what Ricardo called rent, not to be confused with the rent you pay for an apartment.
So,
What's the problem? The problem, sir, is that you benefit from all these high prices at everyone else's expense. Hence, these riots. Ricardo proposed a free market solution that was controversial at the time. Open up the market. Let people migrate from other places.
No, no, no.
Yes, yes, yes.
Your car's gonna be towed.
Ricardo further championed free trade with his most famous and enduring idea, comparative advantage, which is when countries specialize according to what they do best. He recognized that when a country produces a good, it limits its ability to make something else due to its limited resources. Limited resources?
We can make more of everything than everybody else.
Sir, I call this idea absolute advantage. Just because we can make everything doesn't mean we should. In fact, I say we specialize in what we make most efficiently and trade for the rest. I call this idea comparative advantage.
Specialize. Trade for the rest.
How? Take it.
Ceding to the fundamental demands of any negotiation. That would be no nuclear program and no, you don't get to charge tolls going through the Strait of Hormuz. But they are still asserting that they are going to control the Strait of Hormuz from now on. Well, guess what? The Strait of Hormuz will remain closed even if the United States were to give Iran the ability to charge tolls on the Strait of Hormuz, make people register to get through and all that sort of thing. Why? Because
they merged over, cut him off.
just as is happening right now, what makes ships decide whether or not they're going to go through the Strait of Hormuz is whether or not they can get insurance on their journey. Because these are billion-dollar ships, and nobody wants to lose their billion-dollar ship, so they want insurance. And they've always had to have insurance. Mostly, when you're talking something that big, the insurance is always provided by Lloyd's in London. They're kind of the big.
Susan Collins broke her promise to protect Roe v. Wade and cast the deciding vote for Trump's justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. Now states are banning abortion without exceptions. Tell Susan Collins, stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
They try to fly forward and pass, so why did they click on the passenger right side? Okay, so you're at fault. You shouldn't have tried to pass
Tomorrow,
the right way.
it said, okay, Iran, you can have the Strait of Hormuz, it's all yours.
Fast forward, explaining to them.
Ships still wouldn't go through there because they couldn't get insurance to do it. And so I think that's a development that's not being widely reported right now, but it's going to definitely affect the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz going forward. Now, I would have thought, as soon as I saw that, I said, oh man, that's going to spike oil prices right there. Because now it's going to be harder for ships to get out. And when looking, oil prices are actually down 3% today. So what that shows is that President Trump just talking about having negotiations will calm the energy markets. Even though pretty much everybody knows that there's no way we're coming to an agreement right now with Iran. They're still, even their moderates are still saying, we're nowhere close. We are not going to agree to the things that President Trump says are his hard and fast conditions for a deal. So there's going to be more fighting. The war's not winding down, even though we didn't strike them last night. Probably just saving up to strike them twice as hard tomorrow, or tonight. We'll see.
I'm going to sleep with someone
Now,
else tonight.
if you look at the strikes that the United States has conducted,
Sorry. Here's a simple solution. Don't get
has
arrested.
conducted
Don't.
against Iran
All they had to do was take
over the past 13 days, it is substantial. And we have
Let your insurance company
definitely
figure it
hurt
out.
Iran
That's it.
badly
And no, they
over
have
the last few
this
days.
on the
Take a
whole
look at this
situation.
map here, which shows all of the strikes the United States has done over the last 13 days.
We're giving it to animal control.
And you can see they're all over the country, even up at the Caspian Sea, even even up in the Kurdish areas in the northwest, and definitely focused way down in the south. Okay, so it's been a substantial bombing campaign already. I don't have any numbers about the total number of bombs that we dropped or sorties like they gave it. You know, we had done 13,000 in the first 40 days of the war. It's likely that we've done another maybe 5, 6, 7, 8,000 in the last 2 weeks. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 1,000 in one night coming up shortly to just really drive the point home that this is going to be very painful for Iran if they don't come to the table in a serious way. And I really believe we're just going to have to outright defeat them on the battlefield before they are going to give up their hopes and dreams of owning the street.
I'm just saying it would have made more sense for her to look at the woman officer who's patting her down to say, "Ma'am, will you please tell this officer that I will not speak to him, but I'll speak to another officer?"
Out there that,
right, but when she's speaking directly to him, just say, "Yeah, take my, she lives nearby, take the dog. Why do you gotta make it?" I think people just like to be difficult. Is it an addiction to be difficult?
It's that the next country to the east of the Caspian Sea, in the northeast of Iran. So they have a long
It's a different
border
cult.
with Iran, and it's one of the least defensive borders they have.
Difficult.
Obviously, you know, all the action is down in the south and the west.
Why are you being difficult?
There are rumors that we have U.S. Special Forces now in Azerbaijan. And those are just rumors.
You know, actually, the word diff, D-I-F-F, or was it D-I-F-E, diff?
We
What
are
was it? Hold
definitely
on.
positioning
Look this up.
ourselves to do what we have to do and actually put troops on the ground if necessary.
The word
We are getting
diff,
prepared for all of that.
short
Now,
word for difference,
meanwhile,
originating from Latin
you know, the Houthis have been
differentia.
saying that, okay, this Bab al-Mandab Strait down in the Red Sea is closed. No ships can go through. that
Automotive
belong
slang, video games.
in any way belong to Saudi Arabia. Even though we've seen several very large crude carriers go through the Bab al-Mandab Strait without being struck by the Houthis. And those VLCCs
The name of the diff command line tool developed in the early 1970s for the Unix operating system by Douglas
but they were Chinese,
McElroy.
or at least they claimed to be.
That's right,
And so,
McElroy.
Houthis
That's
let them
tricky.
through.
McElroy. Or is that
But
McIlroy?
attacking those very oil terminals. It's like, oh gosh, we can't
That's messing with
blow
my
up these
eyes.
Chinese ships because
Douglas
they're supposed to be our
McElroy
friends.
and others to compare lines and
So,
text
instead we're just
files.
gonna blow up
That'd be
the
interesting to
terminal
learn
where they
about.
get
Let's do
their
that
oil
one.
in Saudi Arabia, and that way they can't see
Unix utility for the word diff. It's a created has the name of the diff command line tool developed in the early 1970s for the Unix UNIX. Diff DIFF, Unix operating system by Douglas McElroy and others to compare lines in the text files. It makes you roll your tongue.
Greek army, believe it or not, said that they had a
Modern software, widely used in version control systems like Git, GIT, to show changes made between code files or commits. COMMITS. Code files or commits.
Still going.
Comments. Skill gaps, popularized in multiplayer team games like MOBAs around 2010 to describe a major skill or performance gap between opposing players in a specific role. Example, jungler diff, JUNGLER, jungler diff.
That is a lot of
disorderly conduct citation and then let them
That would
go.
be either
Yeah, let's do that.
or natural gas.
Typically, if you're going to charge them with resistant arrest, they're going to
So that was DIFE was the one we had done before. DIFE, DIFE, or Diffie, DIFE, Diffie, Diffie. Defy?
All of
No?
this footage
Okay.
is floating around social media, and I'm
The word dife originates primarily from Haitian Creole, where it means fire, and derives from the French phrase de feu, of the fire. It can also refer to a rare surname with unclear or localized roots, or an acronym like Drogheda, acronym like Drogheda Institute of Further Education in Ireland. Interesting. Drogheda, Drogheda, Drogheda Institute of Further Education in Ireland.
I wasn't aware of that.
Literary use featured prominently in historical and cultural texts such as Michael Roth, Truliots.
So, President Trump
Influential Creole language work,
China and Russia
Taidifi
helping Iran
Boulay,
in this war.
Taidifi Boulay, It's Toi, Itia, 1977.
But Pete Hegseth,
Linguistic root combines French elements into the photonic spelling and sound, diffé, representing fire or arson. Considered very rare with potential phonetic overlap or historical links to names like Duffy, viewable via ancestry diff surname records. What do you say, diff, diffy, or diffé?
That's deeply respectful of one's opponents. We see it in Thomas Aquinas. If you open up the page specifically, it can seem so dry and technical, and where are we, what's going on? Think widely disputed question. So this doctrine of God.
Diffé. Diffé. Oh, okay.
Thomas's ethics.
Diffé.
What makes us happy? That's the question that unites every single person.
With stress on the second syllable. Diffé. Diffé. Like that? Diffé.
That's a thing that you can say.
Audio example. You can listen to native audio clips on Forvo.
I think that no, we should not be
What's
trusting
that?
the guy who
Forvo?
has killed more than a billion have another 40 years.
Ooh, what's that?
Will literally go down in history. Alongside Mao, Stalin,
I want to opt out of the sale of my personal information? What?
He is going to, Vladimir Putin is going to be
What? Have you ever seen this?
with those guys. Hopefully sharing a room in hell.
Oh, I mean, you get a lot of different ones, but I don't think I've ever gotten this one. If you wish to opt out of the sale, sharing, third parties, or processing of your personal sensitive information for targeted advertising by us, please use the below opt-out site. So some people like that, certain sites, topics and information. They want to get ads and news stories and stuff about those things, so a lot of people allow for it. I do. I usually don't block anything.
Someday would be praising God.
But to opt out of the sale of it, for them to sell it, because why would it be sold?
Praising God.
Like, why would they have to sell it? The algorithms don't just do it for them? No, I'm trying to figure that out. I have no clue. I don't know. What did I pick? It said they received my choices and my requests will be honored. Did I say yes or no? Oh my god. Call the National Guard. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm gonna get a virus now, aren't I? Yep, there it is.
They stand with Palestine. We support a two-state solution.
What the world?
Pie in the sky is ridiculous. There is no two-state. There will not be a two-state. What's the problem? October 7th, 2023, made sure of it. It's not going to be a two-state. Not in our life.
What in the heck is this Forvo site? FORVO.
Out of that.
So quiet.
But that's what they
There's a
said was
problem.
their red line.
They're hiding
Because of
something like the
Israel's
title says. And then
opposition
somebody's
to
in
a
the back
two-state
seat
solution,
too,
we're
right?
not going to join. But President Trump says that's not the reason why they said registration.
Nobody got out of hand. I just said that in order to do it, they have to be a member of the Abraham
Look at
Accords,
this
which have been very
site.
successful.
This is
But it's
interesting.
time now that they do it. They and others didn't want to do it because of the
What in the
problem
heck
that they
is
had with
this?
Iran. You don't have that problem anymore. You don't have the
What
power
is
barrier.
that?
A problem.
Doge is a language. DOGE is a language.
They were the bully of the
Oh.
bully, said we're not going to
Oh
be that
no,
much
it's
of
a
a bully
word.
anymore. Probably, I think, instinctively
Bruschetta.
wanna be. But,
I'm
you don't have
looking
the
down
same
at the
problem they
words
would've had 4 or 5 months ago before.
in the how to
No
pronounce.
Navy, no military, no
Quinoa.
anti-aircraft,
Quinoa?
no leaders. I mean, the leaders are gone. A lot of things.
Again, he's not going to himself.
Dude, what is this site? It's keeps freezing up. And I don't know what request they just honored. It asked something about selling my personal information. I think I picked no, but the thing underneath it in little gray faded letters said you're opted in.
Okay.
I don't want to log in.
And they still have an army. Very large
Add an
army.
extension to Chrome. I don't understand any of this.
Say that all their leaders are on, all their
Required to have your registration illuminated, and
exaggerating
it
like
has to
that
be
is
visible
not
at least 15 feet away on the road. Do you have any questions?
Oh, Libolacoli?
No, we want them to.
Alright, so am I in English here?
The
English.
future of the Middle East, the Abraham Accords have been incredibly successful for the countries, as you know, for the countries in them.
Whether or not
So, what he did
FORVO, Forvo. It's like a language pronounce words kind of site.
What is your
that
name?
makes it far more likely that Saudi Arabia is going to go out
What is your
Oh,
name?
wait.
solicit a deal with
What is
the
it?
same thing. The reason
For
that
Vav.
deal, the best reason for
I'm
that
asking
deal,
you. Your name? You don't know your name?
No, it's Forvo, for FORVO.
they're going to get nuclear power one way or the other, and it might as well be us boxing out China and Russia.
Why are you lying to me?
And
Senator Collins supports and advocates.
There's an issue with this.
I don't understand why you are asking for an attorney. Why are you giving me a false name?
I didn't give you a false name.
So why are you giving me somebody's ID right now? Why are you giving me somebody's ID? I asked for your driver's license, not this person's driver's license. I don't know who this person is. Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. I'm giving you all of my information. If I somehow grab the wrong thing, I can go get the other one. I told you it was put in the back, and I just bought this vehicle a couple days ago.
So there's no misunderstanding. I want you to write down your first name, middle name, last name, and date of birth on this video.
What if that beach view they promised?
Pending pronunciation? What?
100 times better.
This site is really weird. A lot of ads too. I don't like it. I'm on the lookout.
I'm shocked. I want to touch her hair.
On your right is one of the outdoor yoga classes.
Holy shit.
Would you guys like to sign up for a class?
Yes. I never want to go home. Is that Mel?
Yeah, that seems like one of those, yeah.
Hey, that's
Try to check that out.
out.
Forvo, FORVO, is supposed to be a word pronunciation site. I don't know about that. That's messed up.
Oh boy.
What do you think my stuff is? Hanging out with your friends is essential for survival.
This whole spot is such a scam.
Where are my friend box?
You're supposed to walk out of here at center. We gotta chill. Do we look chill to you?
Have a white friends.
Oh no.
Dear beachcombers and early risers, wine tasters and music lovers, family travelers.
Another article. This is kind of the last but not least article I wanted to share. Is not such good news. That is that Iran has been caught smuggling agents into the UK and having been posed as channel migrants. The vast majority of the migrants that are coming into the UK from Calais, France, are actually from North Africa. But there are plenty of Iranians that have snuck into the UK, and they're crossing the English Channel by boat, these dinghies, every day they're getting in. And of course, under Keir Starmer, the UK government really wasn't doing much about it. There was one initiative by the, I forget who it was, who decided, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put these guys back on planes. We made a deal with Rwanda to build apartment complexes in Rwanda, gated communities over there. If we're going to fly these migrants from the UK back to Africa, land in Rwanda, give them a place to live, pay for their food, pay for their housing, give them, everything. And then we'll keep them there until we decide on their asylum claims. And the first plane load of guys that they did that with tore the plane apart before it could even take off. They were not having it. And so that program, after the UK had already built a gated community in Rwanda for these guys, that program fell flat on its face. Just did a face plant. And so this article that I just put up there, this is from what outlet is this? The Telegraph. It's from the Telegraph. Iran is smuggling agents into the UK as channel migrants. And what it says here is Iran has been caught sending suspected covert operatives across the English Channel into the UK. Individuals with links to Tehran's intelligence agencies are understood to have been intercepted by UK authorities while attempting to enter Britain on small boats. People smugglers working on the continent told the Telegraph that the Iranian regime facilitated the passage to Britain of migrants living in Calais in exchange for a favor from Iran after they settled in England. It goes on. It doesn't actually say what that favor is. What it does say is that the UK has set up AI intelligence detection trackers.
What excites me about being a product
where these migrants are coming ashore, and so as the migrants are paddling in on their dinghy, these long-range cameras perform facial recognition on the guys
many moons ago.
And then compare that
back
against terror databases.
When I was in graduate school,
that way they have been able
many
to
moons ago,
some people who
back
are terrorists, known terrorists, coming in.
I was in graduate school to get a PhD
a lot of those people
in
that are
astrophysics. And when you're getting an advanced degree in the sciences, especially in the physical sciences, what you notice is that other graduate students, many of them, and in some departments, most of them, were not born in America. They came from other countries around the world. These are countries whose system of education did not extend deeply into graduate studies in the fields of their interest. And so they had to look around the world to see who could serve those interests. And in the physical sciences, the United States had led the world. Half of my fellow graduate students were foreign-born nationals. And this was not uncommon. In the physics department, it was even higher, that fraction of foreign-born nationals. And for most of them, they'd get their graduate degree and they would find job opportunities here in the United States and they would stay. Now, I took that for granted. It was like, well, of course they're coming to the United States. This is America. And I didn't fully think about what might be the consequences to the country from which they came. This was tantamount to a brain drain from those countries. And those countries would not then be able to create a layer of science, technology, engineering, and math to build their infrastructure. They'd be beholden to advances from other countries that had the innovation and the educational tracking to create that kind of a world. So I just took it for granted. I didn't think much about it. It was like, of course, they're here to study these subjects. Recently, in the United States, science as an enterprise has not been as welcomed or as supported as it has been in previous decades. This manifests in multiple ways. We've already talked about the halving of the science budget of NASA. By the way, that might not look like much on the total NASA budget, because NASA puts astronauts into space, and lately to the moon and back. That's not the science budget.
Boss. How you doing? We got him now. Don't just stand there and bust a movie. Having any fun yet? You really can't buy a car online on Auto Trader.
Even on the set of an Auto Trader commercial.
Can you still talk to someone when you're buying online?
Testing. Really? Have local dealers behind the scenes. Really? Really? Great to work with you, Doug. Can I get a ride back to set?
The science budget is a fraction on top of that allows us to put up space telescopes to search for life on Mars and on moons of Jupiter. It's all the images we get and the knowledge gleaned from the space telescopes such as Hubble, such as the James Webb. That's the science budget. You could have a space program without science, but then what is motivating it? Is it muscle flexing? We can go into space and you can't, or you don't know how, and we do. The science makes space exploration a noble enterprise, rather than just a simple race that you've decided to hold. That's NASA, but let's keep going. I don't know if you knew, but from academia, the government has had visiting scientists annually come in from academia to serve the country. These are scientists that come in and advise the Justice Department, the Senate, the House, the White House. These rotating positions were not only good for the government, they're also good for scientists themselves to get a taste of how the sausage is made in governance, especially when governance needs and relies upon the advice of scientists. So here's what has happened. Many of those positions that rotate in and out no longer exists. These rotating positions included, for example, the National Science Foundation. You'd have scientists from academia doing tours of duty in and out of the National Science Foundation to bring their expertise into a government agency that doesn't always have access to the moving frontier of that expertise. Not only that, what does the NIH do? The National Institutes for Health? They have grant money that goes to research that's not conducted within the government. It's conducted by scientists in universities. This is one of the fundamental roles American universities have played in the strengthening of the United States in the 20th century. Universities are not just some places students go to learn and get degrees. Yes, it's also that, and yes, it's importantly that. But the intellectual capital that resides in the scientific community of universities has no equal in the world. And the government knows this. So the government says, we want to do some extra research here and there. We don't have that expertise. Here's grant money to the university. Go build a lab, do the research. Not only that, what we have learned in 20th century research in science is you cannot predictate what role and value curiosity-driven research will play in the future of your economy, in the future of your health, in the future of your security. You cannot predetermine that because you have no idea. You might have read recently that research into the venom of the Gila monster, this big lizard, research on that venom led to the development of the GLP-1 weight loss medications. Who would have thought that? Maybe not even the scientists themselves. The point is, curiosity-driven research extends the frontier in all directions, and you don't know in advance what connections will be made off of those frontiers. You don't know. my college physics professor. His name is Ed Purcell. I took quantum physics from him. This was well after he had earned a Nobel Prize. For what? For discovering a new physics phenomenon called nuclear magnetic resonance. This is what happens when you take the nucleus of an atom, subject it to a strong magnetic field, and you watch the effect on electromagnetic energy passing by it. Later on, medical technologists say, wait a minute, if you can distinguish one atomic nucleus from another in this way, then maybe I can make images of the soft tissue of the human body in ways that X-rays do not reveal. Thus was invented the magnetic resonance imager, the MRI. Its full name would really be the nuclear magnetic resonance imager, but nuclear is one of the two N words you're not supposed to use in polite company. Anyhow, MRI, arguably the most potent machine in the arsenal of the medical community to diagnose the condition of your body without cutting you open first. That came from the work of a physicist doing research on atoms and molecules, who, by the way, was deeply interested in atoms and molecules in space. That was his calling. That's what got him interested. And here he is doing research, a person who has no interest in medicine. The intersections of the frontier, of the moving frontier, in ways you cannot predict, is what defines our exponential growth in our science and technology that drives society. If you think science is some hidden activity done by ivory tower institutions just for the amusement of scientists who have nothing better to do with their brilliance, so therefore you don't really need them, what you really want are the engineers, because they build stuff. And if you're an engineer hired in a corporation in the R&D department, what fraction of their money goes to R&D? Anywhere between 0 and a few percent? All right, you're going to be tasked with making product that'll show up in the quarterly report with promise of revenue. Well, when you're doing science on the true frontier, there's no obvious pathway to revenue. Certainly not in the quarterly report. Definitely not the annual report. You got a decadal report, maybe. Maybe. We're in the 100-year anniversary, the centennial decade of the discovery of quantum physics. People back then said, I wonder what molecules are doing. I wonder what atoms are doing. If you were around back then, what would you have said? I'm a carpenter. I just care that my wood atoms can cut. I'm learning new laws of physics about how particles interact, how electrons, protons, neutrons, quarks.
This Nissan lineup goes where you take it. Vehicles built with power and control. Nissan, Consumer Guide's most awarded brand 5 years in a row. Please see important safety information and indication at 340.
I had my first seizure when I was 20 years old. We were at dinner and they put my food down on the table in front of me and I woke up in an ambulance. I had no idea what had happened. It was terrifying.
Other particles, too innumerate to mention here. It would take decades, yes, decades, before we would discover how to create, store, and retrieve digital information. You know how you do that? Using quantum physics. Oh my gosh. Who in the 1920s would have said, we're doing this because one day we'll have personal computers? No, nobody's thinking that. This is all backdrop to my point. Within the last 2 years, we've lost more than 15,000 scientists from the ranks of the federal government. Not only that, grant money from major funding agencies of the government has been reduced, so that we have fewer scientists doing research on government funding. You look at the titles of some of the papers, or the titles of the grant proposals. They have a research paper that maybe 100 people in the world at most understand the title. And it's like, I don't see why that's relevant to anything, therefore I don't want to fund it. Let's cut it. And then you cut it, and it looks like you're saving money, when what you're doing is you're cutting out at the kneecaps the future competitiveness of this nation. in the three things that we care most about: our health, our wealth, and our security. Because the history of that exercise tells us exactly that. The government loses 15,000 scientists, and if you think all the science research you need to do is on the R&D ledger of a corporation, you are sadly mistaken. So what is happening? Our labs here in the United States, the funding is dropping. We can't sustain the lab. We can't sustain graduate students, postdocs. What's a postdoc? A person who gets a PhD and still has some energy and some creativity to do some research. They don't want to be a professor yet, so they get to spend 3 years, 4 years, 6 years doing just research in a lab. You don't have money for that as the person who runs the lab evaporates. Do you realize I have colleagues who've gotten a phone call from Germany, from France, from Spain, saying, we've got a fully funded lab here. I know your expertise, and I know you're running out of funding. Why don't you bring your whole operation to us? We're now getting cherry-picked by other countries. Yeah, that's what we kind of did for the second half of the 20th century. But now the tables are reversed. We're losing our scientific base. Europe understands what's going on. You know who else understands what's going on? China. Here's an interesting vignette about China. Initially, Chinese students came to the United States to study graduate subjects in the physical sciences, and they stayed. Meanwhile, China is growing. China's economy is growing. They're getting their act together. Have you seen pictures of Shanghai lately? Any part of it? This is a city of the future, right? So meanwhile, China's ascending. So what happens? The next generation of Chinese graduate students, because that first generation came and stayed. The second generation got trained and went back to China to build the next generation of graduate programs. The third generation of Chinese graduate students are not here because they're being trained in China and they're staying in China. This is a slide. It's not a cliff. If you fell off a cliff or were pushed off a cliff, you would notice that. But it's a slide. And as we continue down this slide, and as scientists are cherry-picked, as labs are evaporating, as scientists are retiring and not replaced, there's an intellectual vacuum, scientific vacuum that is descending upon the United States. And that has consequences. I'm not here to tell people who to vote for, or what to vote for, or who your candidate is. It has nothing to do with this. It has to do with an if-then statement. If you're okay with the United States losing its scientific leadership, especially in the physical sciences, if you're okay with that, you will get the country you voted for. And that country is one where we will no longer innovate because our greatest innovations are based on the frontier science that's way beneath them, hidden from the daily news reports, hidden from what you see and hear about as you surf the internet. That goes away. We lose the foundation of our innovations, and the United States fades on the world stage. And they will do things that will impress us, just as we did things my entire life growing up that impressed the world. We went to the moon. Nobody else was close to going to the moon. Fantastic.
That's why we haven't. Maybe they're the ones that are pushing for an actual deal, but they don't have the.
Yeah, that's right.
my god.
The ocean is blighted. Gather scans and return with appropriate treatment equipment.
How do I discover rooms? I really need rooms for my base. Alright, I need to return to the life pod. Why did it get so dark all of a
Making
sudden?
the advances because the fields of science move forward. But as an American, I like baseball, I eat hot dogs, and I eat apple pie. Yeah, I'm American. It kind of hurts
We should probably
to
find
watch
out
this
what
hard-earned leadership evaporate. We will be less secure, less healthy, and less wealthy because some community of people who influence what this country is do not see the value of science deep below all of that. I'm saddened by this. But let me put this on a higher note. Remember when the folks were testifying about aliens in the back shed and reverse engineer of alien spacecraft and flying saucers? Remember that? Okay. These were hearings in Congress. Who was conducting those hearings? Members of Congress. Both political parties of Congress were sitting right next to each other, hand in hand, asking common questions. That was my takeaway. Aliens was something everybody cared about, and your political persuasion didn't matter.
Wait.
Aliens. It took aliens to bring us together. Ronald Reagan predicted that in 1987, I think it was. He gave a speech in front of the UN.
I
occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
There would be no Cold War because we'd be in this together fighting a common enemy. I don't like common enemies to be the source of us getting together, but yeah, that kind of works, doesn't it? All right. As we fade and as the rest of the world rises up, and as we in the United States decide we need to do something about it, I think then we're going to be sunk so deeply into a hole that all political factions will be together and say, we got to get out of this hole. How are we going to do that? Well, we've got to shore up our scientific profile because there's nothing political about science moving on the frontier. Yes, funding can influence what science gets done that is shaped by your political policies, sure, but the discoveries that science makes, those are not political. That comes out of nature. Nature is the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner of what happens in the laboratory. Okay, so we're down in the hole, looking up. And the only way out is straight up. There's no room for political bickering. We've got to do this together. And I think we will descend further before we reach that point. But the day we reach that point, I think we'll rocket out of that hole as no one could have imagined. And why do I think that? Because we've actually done that before. What happened on October 4th, 1957? The Soviet Union launched Sputnik, a radio transmitter embedded in a hollowed-out intercontinental ballistic missile shell that was flying over our heads. If they could put that over our heads, they could put a nuclear payload over our heads. We got spooked.
Oh, man.
Within a year, we created NASA. Within 11 years, we orbited the moon. Within 12 years, we were walking on the moon. Yeah, we rocketed out of that hole we were in to try to show the world the path of freedom over then known as the path of tyranny, the godless communists. We want another example? December 7th, 1941. We're attacked at Pearl Harbor. Oh my gosh. We gather our resources, our scientists, our corporate infrastructures, our military. Do you realize we isolated the element plutonium in the year 1940? And within 5 years, it was weaponized. And that was the first atomic bomb ever detonated at Trinity Site, New Mexico. Shortly after that, a duplicate was made, perfected, and dropped in warfare. All that happened within 4 or 5 years. Think today how long construction projects take. To build a road, a bridge, they take 5, 6, 7, sometimes 10 years. When we're motivated evidence shows we can rise up as a nation, as one nation, to achieve a goal, provided we understand what that goal is, and we understand what methods, tools, tactic, efforts, and investments are required to stoke that goal. That's the America I look forward to. In this, our 250th anniversary, as a kingless country run by its citizens, let's take the world back. I know that's kind of jingoistic, but I can't help it, because I'm American. Neil deGrasse Tyson for Star Talk. This is a what's up with that?
That's 10 energy
Until next
second,
time.
though?
Keep looking up.
Where? Okay, so I did that. We're spending 4. We have 16. Right here. Sweet. So now we should... I actually have an empty battery.
Leonardo da Vinci was a great inventor, but paperwork got in the way. If he'd used the smart buying tools on Amazon Business, he could have worked more efficiently. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
Check it out. I'm shopping for a car on AutoTrader.
Is that how you search?
Searching all this inventory from local dealers is now a simple conversation.
So I can really find an SUV with I'm a director energy.
Really? Wait, really? Find your next car on AutoTrader. Really?
EVA thrust pistol system. Travelers should be careful to rest their wrist, elbows, and shoulders during prolonged use.
Up until the 20th century,
We're definitely faster now.
everything that physics discovered about the universe that applied everywhere,
We have a
as far as we
big
knew,
window now.
they were called laws.
Wait for that, and that's going to give us a
Newton's
citation.
laws of motion.
Right.
Newton's laws of gravity.
Right.
Law is something that
Now we
you don't break.
Okay.
It is a law.
That's right.
Thou shalt not go faster than light.
There you
Thou
go.
shalt not.
Those were the original tablets, if you're wondering.
No, that's the other one that broke.
That's the one that broke up. I come down with these 15! 10s!
11 to 15 with the speed of light.
Right.
So, beginning of the 20th century, we stopped calling them laws.
Okay, why is that?
It was a humble recognition that the experiments you do that establish the laws might not have been conducted in every possible extreme to test the law that you're establishing.
That makes sense.
Okay?
Right.
Let me give a really stupid example.
All right.
I can make a law that if I drop something, it'll fall at a particular rate. I'll call that my gravity law.
Well, it kind of is the case.
Yeah, it is. However, if I go to a mountaintop, it'll fall slightly slower if I have very careful measurements. My gravity law is different at the top of a mountain. So I have to adjust it somehow. And then I learn, oh my gosh, my gravity law depends on how far away you are from the center of the earth. Okay?
Because that's what it's falling into.
Oh, that's what it's falling into. But you have to, this is new understanding of what's going on.
Right.
But if no one ever ascended a mountain, this law would work for everybody at all times, at sea level.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But, so now let me give a more realistic example. Isaac Newton has his laws of motion, laws of gravity. They apply everywhere. The moon going around Earth, Earth going around the sun, Jupiter's satellites going around Jupiter. It's not just, here's what the sun does with planets. It's what anything does. That's got, okay.
If it has mass, right?
If it's got mass, you can have gravity,
Right.
you got this.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But then Uranus gets discovered. It's not following Newton's laws of gravity. Have we found the limits of this law? It only applies maybe to our solar system. Maybe other star systems, it's different, or maybe beyond a certain distance, the universe is somehow interfering with it. We didn't know.
Right.
And we had Newton's boys on his side saying, Newton is so badass.
Oh no.
We're sure the law still works.
You dummy.
There must be some other planet tugging on it that you haven't put into your equations.
Right.
Let's look for it. You have to invert the equation to find the thing that would be making the force of gravity. Right. The inversion problem. Took some high-level math in the day. Sure enough, they said, look here, bada bing, there it is. Newton's law still held.
Still held.
Now, we keep going. How about these stars that orbit each other? Do we know their masses? Not quite yet. We have to learn more about what stars are. We get their
Those things
masses.
are cool.
Whoa! They're following Newton's laws.
Wow, right.
Stars, that's beyond our solar system. So we were good with Newton's laws until we had to understand what Mercury was doing. Mercury, its orbit around the sun was not following Newton's laws. We said, we've been down that road before.
Right.
But there's a planet.
Right. Inside the sun.
No.
There's another planet in the sun.
No,
on Mercury.
Next best thing. There's a planet so close to the sun,
right,
we can't see it. It's lost in the glare.
Okay.
But clearly it's there.
Clearly it's there.
Okay, because that would account for the fact that Mercury's path is not exactly following Newton's laws.
Right.
Turns out, can't explain it with Newton's laws. We're in the presence of severe force of gravity. The sun. Obviously, Earth is near the sun. We're orbiting it. But these effects don't show up until you're really close. And Mercury is really close to the sun. And a whole other understanding of physics needed to be invoked.
Oh,
Einstein's general theory of relativity.
Enter Einstein.
Enter Einstein, which accounts for very high sources of gravity, very high speeds. So, you invoke Einstein?
Oof. Your big piggy needs professional help. Good thing you have him.
Strawn acid. This is mid acid. How do you make strawn acid? Let's see. Strawn acid. What is that? What?
Oh, BS. Oh, get over here. No, that's game. This, yeah, it's really good.
Thank you.
I really love it. It makes me want to play it. It's exciting and relaxing. Yes.
Following the infected rockfall structure may lead to an adult angel cone with useful adaptations.
Like the ocean waves.
Nope, don't like that. That is terrifying. It's all over here.
Heat level below tolerable threshold. Recommend heat.
Salt! I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Don't look at me like that.
Come on, rock dude. I needed the rock dude and Pekka to take
Get
out
away
all
from
three.
me. Oh. Found it. It's these. I'm gonna grab plenty of this.
Go,
Alright, we have what we need.
Hog
We can leave now. We are finally ready to do this.
What is it? Is it stallion? Is it a board?
Power connected. All systems online.
We're gonna have to wait for it to be daytime. After we make this tadpole and give it a test drive, I think I'm gonna have to hop off for now. Because I've been playing this game for way too long. It is so good. And with this, we'll be on. Damn. Can't speak. We'll finally be able to make the power cell. And with said power cell, we should be able.
Oh goodness, might get it. I think we might get it. Let's go, go, go. Yes, go, go, go.
I need glass. I spent all my.
Yes! Victory is ours!
Quartz on glass and all my glass on windows. Whoops. Hey. All y'all back up. Oh, I gotta get out of here. They're circling me like freaking sharks. Alright, here we go. Should I make this dog first? Yeah. Right about... I'd say it's good. There we go. So we have the dog for it now. Tactical dog. Now we just have to make it. I'm gonna make more titanium ingots.
Oh shoot, I didn't want to lay them. Damn it! Get him, get him!
Oh, so you meet down there.
I just wasted my barbarians.
Oh, it's made.
It's okay. We got it.
Oh. Turn on the lights.
Makes me feel better about
Oh,
losing
yeah,
my
this is nice. This is really nice. I have a max. I have a max depth of 250. All right, can I dock this? Oh, you know it. Oh, you know it. Oh, that's beautiful.
I got 11,200.
Okay, definitely didn't need a spoonful
And the
this
rare
thing, but it's
grief.
fine. It's nice. I like it. As much as I would like to mess around with the...
And now I will get about 5,700.
You know, as much as I would like to play the game with it, discover new things with it, I think that's all I really want to do today. I've been recording for how long now? About 4 hours and 20 minutes. Alright, I've been playing this for a while. And
Oh man.
I want to take a break. Hello,
That's a bad move.
editing me here.
That's okay.
And I just want to say really quickly that this video right here that you just watched took a really long time to edit. Like, it took a really long time to go through it, cut everything, add in the little bits and pieces that I've added. And it's probably taken longer than any other video I've ever uploaded.
He did work a
And
while.
part 2, or
He's
this is not like a
recorded it for a
series that
couple
I plan
days,
to
I
do,
think.
is already recorded. Alright, and I do plan to edit that and get it to you. But the thing is, these videos are going to take a really long time to edit, so I'm probably going to be doing videos in between the series as well. But do expect the episodes to take a little bit to come out, because, again, this took a really long time, and most of my Subnautica playthroughs are probably going to be around this long. I'm just really hoping to get good content out to you guys, and don't worry, I am going to upload more parts of this series. Don't feel like that I'm discouraged in any way because of how long this took to edit. Don't worry, I promise. I'm just, in general, I want to get my upload schedule clear because I don't upload that much content. Like, I only upload like 20 videos a year. I want to try to do more than that. Alright, I need to edit more, I need to record more, I need to play more fun games. And I want to do that for you guys. So, for those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. And I plan to try to get a better upload schedule. It might not be that much better, but my main goal right now, I want to try to get one video a week. But yeah, I want to do that for you guys. I want to try to get out and I'm really hoping to do that. And you can help me do that simply just by watching my videos, leaving a like, you know, supporting me, supporting the channel. I feel more encouraged to give more to you guys. So by helping me out like that, I really
Oh, man.
feel more encouraged to do more content. And I'm really glad to see people who are sticking around. And if you are one of those people who have stuck around for my content, you know, been watching me for quite a bit, I just want to say thank you. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Goodbye.
This is the Burger King original chicken sandwich. Yeah, the long one. Try the classic. Or the crunchy, creamy, loaded jalapeno. Or the smoky, bacony club. This lineup is loaded with flavor for days.
A fire emergency across southern Europe, forcing 175,000 people to evacuate as strong winds, high temperatures, and drought conditions whip up fast-moving flames across the region. Spain declaring a national emergency. Fires scorching at least 37,000 acres. New evacuations in Madrid as 3 massive fires exploded in size on Friday and merged into one just outside the city, creating a catastrophic situation that's closing in on populated areas. Local officials calling it the worst fire in the history of the Madrid region. More than 3,000 people now mobilized to battle the blazes. Their fight on the ground and from the air to try to get ahead of the flames. And in France, more than 50,000 acres have burned so far, doubling in size in just a day. The biggest fire burns toward Bordeaux, smoke already seen over the city, as residents and tourists across the popular vacation region have been forced to flee.
There's nowhere to go. The roads are shut. The police told me to stay.
Tennessee and Rebecca Papin and her 2 children on vacation nearby Viscarosa. Fast-moving flames made it too dangerous for them to leave.
Everything is burning, and that the 2 main roads leaving the city are closed and on fire. So I just stayed in the house.
French officials urging them to shelter in place as hundreds of firefighters race to get this dangerous fire under control.
And this is far from over. France is bracing for another wave of hot temperatures next week, which won't help in the situation. And for some perspective, one of the fires has burned an area that would cover all of Seattle. That's about 81 square miles of land area, or nearly twice the size of Paris. Gio, it's absolutely extraordinary.
It truly is unbelievable how many people are affected by this. We were thinking that
Jesus.
absolutely Marcus thing.
Well, because you were given an opportunity to go home.
Hey, good evening. Hey, you happen to have your driver's license and registration on you? Don't have your license, but do you have a copy? Okay.
Are you listening?
Ladies having a good 4th, or I guess it's the 5th now. Huh? Your car? Okay. Okay. Well, she's driving, so we gotta have her license.
What was the initial?
What's your first name? Jennifer?
No, I didn't see it. I'm just curious. These are 2 school principals. Yeah. Nice. I know, it's just when you just kind of throw your hands up at that point. I don't know.
Hey, good evening. Hey, do you happen to have your driver's license and registration on you? Don't have your license, but you have a copy? Okay.
There are school principals that have done worse. Why are you bothering us? Yeah, right.
Ladies having a good 4th, or I guess it's the 5th.
It didn't show, did it? Did it even show? I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, why? Well, because you were given an opportunity to go home.
Hey, good evening.
It doesn't show. That's why, because it didn't show it. That's why. Quit asking me.
Your license, did you have a copy?
You want to see how many times I'd rewind it? Did I miss something? Huh?
Ladies having a good fourth, or I guess it's the fifth now. Huh? Your car? Okay. Okay. Well, she's driving, so we gotta have her license. You still looking for it? What's your first name? Jennifer? Oh, you have a picture. Okay.
Ah!
Okay.
Oh, that was so close. Oh, man.
And you said
That was so close.
Okay, that's fine.
Good game.
And where are the ladies coming from tonight? Yeah, but I said I asked where you're coming from. Okay, that's fine. Cheers.
I'm above 57.
Alright. Miss Jennifer, you consuming alcohol
57.12.
Because I can smell it, which... Okay. Would you mind stepping back here so I can talk to you? Yeah, that's fine. Are you related to her or anything?
That's fine.
Right over here. Be careful. Why is she speaking for you? Whoop, let's not fall. Here, let's go right on the light. Just like this. Okay. Say that again? Okay. Why is she worried about you?
High in total of, education and our workforce, so it's hard, and we're both married to police officers. So.
And they're both married to police officers.
Well, my wife's married to a police officer too. Is she currently married to one, or is she having?
You can't make that up.
Both of us are.
Two school principals, both married to police officers,
So,
driving around drunk.
Wow.
Wow. No, I mean, that's where you go speechless. Like, what? The fuck? I'm so confused. Wow.
We just got divorced, and I just.
Sorry to hear that.
No wonder it's so hard to get alcohol prevention classes and basic stuff into the public schools.
To be clear, the reason why we're here is because
They don't seem to think it's a big deal, I guess. I don't know.
You know
Wow.
the area? Okay. So you're over by the
Wow.
and what would that be? East Avenue. You know where that is? Okay, you guys were at the light. When you're coming down the you're all over the road.
Okay.
To the point, even when you come around this corner, you're in that travel lane.
Okay.
So
I'm
then,
not sure rider. Okay.
What's that?
I believe you. I don't know the anything.
I did the orange cranberry. That's breakfast, right?
Okay.
Orange.
So that's why I'm here. And then I go up, I talk to you. I
It's actually
notice you
really
have,
good.
like, very
It doesn't
slow
taste like
blade
oranges or
reactions. I
cranberries.
can smell the alcohol. You even have like slow blink, your orbital sway, like I say when you see. Huh?
I know it all. I've been there 20 years with my
Okay.
If I had to compare the flavor to
I'm
something,
explaining to you why I got you out of the car. It's not every day that I usually have a passenger.
the closest thing I can think of is
So I'm worried too. That's why I'm here.
like rice with orange chicken.
So Jennifer, I never said you're a bad person.
No, it's not about that. It's just
All right.
swerving like future.
If it had sesame seeds,
Well, since we're in
it would
this
taste
position
like rice with
have
sesame
an
chicken.
control of the motor vehicle.
Yes.
What I'm going to ask of you is if you would like to perform field sobriety exercises to dispel my concern that you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it?
Oh yeah, a few drops of sesame oil.
Your ex is irrelevant. He's not in the car with you.
No, I get that, but yeah.
So I'm asking you because you're an adult.
No, I can't.
So do you want me to repeat it or do you understand what I said?
I'm sorry, repeat it if you want.
Okay. So what I'm asking or requesting of you is that you perform field sobriety exercises to dispel my concern.
I don't
You're
get
able to
it.
safely operate. Okay, so you
I
don't
don't
want me to
know.
explain it? Okay. You sure you don't want me to explain it?
You're going to explain if you want to.
Well, I keep trying, you keep interrupting. So I don't want you
Well,
to
that's like I get that girls just want to have fun. Yeah, of course.
I don't have to go.
It's. I think it's their choice of activities. Sometimes that's like, how is that? And this is on your free time? Are you being paid or forced to do this? Like what? I'm confused.
That you are able to safely operate that vehicle.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I know you've given me an answer, but with me saying that, do you not want to perform field sobriety exercises? Or do you?
No.
Okay, and you understand the recourse of that, what takes place?
I think so. You could expand on that.
I will. So what that means is that I'm going to take the
See, they would have been learning
from
too,
the driving
along with the
pattern
kids.
and the roadside
Obviously,
that I
they
made
don't
with
know.
you, roadside
That's
contact,
scary.
and make a determination on what I'm
Trying to
going
have huge inventory
So when
of
I
all
ask-
the commodities.
Yeah, being a
Whether
principal
it's
is bad
grain,
enough, but then when you hear
oil,
their
That's
husband
okay,
is a
that's your
police
right.
officer.
But then I'm telling
You
you
name
I have
it.
to
Oh my
take
God.
based off what I have and make a determination. Does that make sense?
And
Okay.
we'll get more pivoting towards China.
Solely
Mm-hmm.
without.
Because all these things, by the way,
Well, I was just, it was you and me here.
let's again talk in kind of
So,
simple
you want
terms,
to perform
but
field sobriety
important.
exercises?
Simple but important. And that is all these moves that the Trump administration are making, tariffs, more sanctions, more wars, they collect enemies.
So, go ahead and put James' money back.
If you put tariffs on somebody, or you sanction somebody, or you bomb somebody, all of those things are the same thing. They make an enemy. And the enemy becomes stronger because there is a rally around the flag effect. There's a natural tendency towards nationalism. If you're attacked, as they used to say, you can circle the wagons.
Okay, stay in the car.
The regime now in Iran is more heavily supported than it was before the war of choice began. There was a lot of discontent in Iran, open discontent in Iran. A lot of it was smashed down, as you know.
I didn't say y'all did anything wrong.
But
so all I did was just tell you not to get out of the car.
shall we say that the mood of the Iranians is changed in that regard.
No, it's not.
That's what that officer came.
Even the ones that don't like the regime, like Iran, that's their home.
Yeah.
Come on.
So.
Like, we're two principals of two charter schools. Please don't do this to our careers.
Okay, so that's not. That's,
Thank you so much, Steve.
that's not to me.
Well, thank you, Neela. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you too. You too.
I'm glad I got the technical problem fixed.
Yeah, we resolved it. We got back, and it was amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
so much.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
I'm gonna send 2 links, the first part and the second part, because we were on live when we had the technical problem, and then we came in with another live. So I'm gonna send the 2 links, Steve.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, well,
What's
no. You gotta listen to me. Alright? No. You're listening to me. Get a fucking ride here right now.
Hi, already. We're back, and we resolved the issue, the technical issue, and we're here. Steve, go ahead. You were talking about the dilemma and with the case of the Iran and the United States. Go ahead.
Well, we kind of, in our brainstorming we were doing, we came to the conclusion that there were 2 big dilemmas in the Middle East situation. One of them was in Saudi Arabia, and the other was in the United States, and Trump. And the dilemma, Trump faces a dilemma
The right thing,
And so does Saudi Arabia faces another big dilemma. And what's the source of the dilemma? It's a common source. It's Israel. So it fits into a general pattern that we've talked about over the months. And that is
Take me instead. What are they going to arrest you for? Being a passenger? You're a drunk passenger. That'd be a first.
But the Israelis do have a plan. They know.
RUI, riding under the influence.
The plan is to destroy Iran.
What the fuck?
Stop
it!
I want you to listen to me real quick.
Find out.
I'm going to tell you something.
Well, I wonder if they live right up the road and their husbands are officers. I wonder if they know that.
You can call. Listen, you can call for Uber or a ride.
I will.
Okay, go ahead and work on that.
Does Uber say it's here? Yeah. It does?
I am living my dream.
What do you want us to do with your vehicle?
So where did my car?
So
you can leave it in Colonial.
Do you want us to put it over there?
I can put it over there. You can put it over there, whatever you want.
No, we can't have you drive over there. That's the thing. So, you want us to go move this in that parking lot right there? Are you good with that? Like 100%. Are you 100% sure that this is your vehicle? I'm not going to do what you want.
I'm 100% sure you can put it over there.
Okay. Can you stay out of the road? Here. The Uber's over here. Like I said, I'll bring you your key, okay?
She's a school principal, bro. She's a school temporary. Good person. She's just trying to get me home safely. I understand. I understand.
We have a job to do, okay?
I understand.
It is what it is for now. Like this conversation isn't good for you. If you wanted to talk about this with somebody, like when you're a little more sober, like sure, but this isn't a good time for you either, okay?
Okay.
But we helped you out. We didn't tow the car.
That was nice.
Helped you get to the Uber. He's right here. He's waiting on you. You got your key back, right?
Okay. So how do I get my phone back?
So she has to go through our process.
Phone.
You'll have access to her phone. She can get phone numbers out of it. She'll be able to call you or whoever she needs to. Okay. She has a process. It's not crazy. Like she's not gonna not have a phone, but you just gotta be patient and wait. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit. All right. But I think he's waiting on you. Okay. That more looks like Christine's right there.
What? She went out back driving. What the frick?
Hey, turn off the car.
What do they think?
Why are you driving? Worried?
Transfer to Lake to Berry. So I'm home and wait.
Okay, well we're in a different area now because you're driving and you shouldn't be driving.
I understand. She lives right there. I was.
Oh my
God.
God.
They told me that she was right there at the South
Lake. I know, but I just want to
the South Lake, whatever. They told me I needed $2,000 to bond her out. So I went to the ATM, but my ATM card doesn't work. So then now I'm like stuck. So I don't know what to do because she can't get out till 10:30. So then I'm gonna go back to her house right now. That's what I was doing. Like I'm not meaning to do anything wrong. I'm way better. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Really drunk when I talked to you.
I know.
It's
But
a
I'm
couple
not.
hours later.
I understand. I'm really not. I promise you I'm not. That's really worried.
Okay.
And she caught me.
Well, look, I can still smell it, so
I know.
are you able to do tilt sobriety exercises for me?
Fine.
Okay.
I don't want to go to jail either.
Go ahead and sit down for me, okay? We're just gonna come to the sidewalk. Go this way. Alright, got a couple of questions before we get started, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, are you sick or injured?
No.
Are you diabetic?
No.
You take insulin?
No.
You're under the care of a doctor. Do you have seizures? I'm gonna go on this side because of the flashing light. Christine, can you face me? Alright, what's your question?
What would you do in a prison?
Not drive.
It sounded.
What's your question about your options?
I don't want to. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and hold you and be okay. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. But most prison, not my people.
Okay.
That freaking cop with this. I don't know what she said. I don't know what she did. She had a freaking abusive husband that was a cop. So she has
We're
PTSD.
getting sidetracked, okay?
I
So as far as
understand.
what we
She
have
probably
now-
gave him attitude. I'm not going to say she didn't, but
Not relevant, okay? So what we have now, right?
I know.
You understand where we're at?
Yes,
You said
I
you're
do.
willing to do field sobriety exercises? You're still willing to do it?
I feel way better than it was before when you sent me home. I understand that. And I did go home. It was just like for 2 hours. And then I called and they told me she was assaulted. So like they told me she was raped here. So I tried to pay
A frontline fighter and dropped like an ordinary battlefield bomb. It belongs to the part of the arsenal designed to influence wars, governments, and national survival. The word gravity and gravity bomb can also be misleading. It does not mean that the weapon is primitive. It means that the bomb is released from an aircraft and falls towards its target rather than flying under its own rocket power like a ballistic or cruise missile. Modern gravity bombs can still use advanced guidance systems. The B6113 is expected to use many of the safety, security, and accuracy features developed for the B6112, including a modern tail assembly that helps guide the weapon after release. Accuracy is extremely important because accuracy in modern warfare is super important and it matters, especially if you're talking about nuclear planning. A more accurate weapon does not need to compensate for a large missed distance in the same way that an older bomb did. It can place its destructive force closer to the exact point that the planners want to attack, and that can make a weapon more effective against a hardened target, but it also does not make the explosion clear, small, or safe, because it's still a nuclear bomb. A nuclear detonation still produces extreme heat, blast pressure radiation, and potentially radioactive fallout. Precision changes where the weapon lands. It makes a difference. Everything matters. It does not remove the nature of the weapon. It's still a nuclear bomb. And if you love TB and Israel and want to be part of what God is doing in this land and help us share the truth, especially now, we have something very special for you. If you visit our official online store, shop.tbnisrael.com, you can find high quality TB and Israel merchandise just like this shirt. I have this shirt in all kinds of colors. You might have seen me. I prefer the black. It's my favorite and I have like maybe 10 of them. So these are items that help you stay connected with what's happening in Israel, help you share the truth, the message, and support our mission of bringing truth, hope, and faith straight from Israel to the nations. You can also get the Boots on the Ground complete set, which features the full collection, connecting our Boots on the Ground reports with you, and save $9 on this bundle if you use the code BOTG-SET at the checkout. Again, that's BOTG-SET at the checkout and get the complete set for just $99, because every purchase that you make helps strengthen our work here on the ground and allows us to continue reporting, teaching, and sharing what's happening in Israel from a biblical perspective. So, whether you're looking for just a meaningful gift, something to wear that represents your faith, or a simple way to stand with Israel, we invite you to visit our store today. Go to shop.tbnisrael.com. Again, that's shop.tbnisrael.com and be part of the mission. B61, number 13, is expected to use a warhead based on the older B-61-7. The United States had not publicly released every technical detail, but it does not officially publish the precise maximum yield in the way that people often expect. Independent nuclear analysis estimate that its highest yield will be approximately 360 kilotons. That's roughly 24 times the explosive energy of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. That comparison needs context. 24 times the explosive energy does not mean 24 times the destruction radius. Terrain, altitude, weather, detonation, height, and building strength all affect the result. Even so, a weapon in this class could devastate a large military complex and cause catastrophic damage far beyond the target. The B-61-13 is also not simply a larger version of the Hiroshima bomb. Hiroshima was destroyed by a fission weapon. In this kind of a bomb, heavy atoms such as uranium or plutonium are split, releasing a tremendous amount of energy. Modern high-yield nuclear weapons.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Are generally thermonuclear. They use a fusion explosion as the first stage, which creates the conditions for a second stage involving a nuclear fusion. Fusion is the same basic process that powers the sun, although a weapon releases that energy in an uncontrolled fraction of a second. This two-stage design allows far greater explosive power than the first generation of the atomic bombs. The B-61-13, therefore, belongs to the hydrogen bomb era, not the simpler atomic bomb era of 1945. Its combination of compact size, accuracy, and yield is what makes it strategically significant. But can it destroy a deeply buried nuclear facility? What do you think? So the answer is complicated. The B-61-13 is not publicly described as a dedicated Earth-penetrating weapon. The United States already has a B-61-11, a nuclear bomb designed to penetrate the ground before detonating. Even then, no bomb can simply drill hundreds of feet through solid mountain rock. Earth penetration is limited by physics. A weapon striking the ground at high speed experiences enormous stress. If it goes too fast, it can destroy itself. If it does not penetrate far enough, much of the energy escapes upward and outwards. A nuclear weapon can still threaten a deep underground complex without reaching the main chamber. The detonation can send shockwaves through the earth, collapse the entrances, destroy the ventilation and the power, damage the tunnels, and trap equipment underground. But the deeper and stronger the target, the less certain that the result will be the destruction of the target itself. So military planners must study geology, construction, depth, access points, and hidden exits. A nuclear weapon is therefore not automatically the perfect bunker buster. Conventional strikes may repeatedly collapse the entrances and destroy support systems without crossing the nuclear threshold. Cyber operations, sabotage, intelligence penetration, or special forces may offer other ways to disable that site. Nuclear weapons became relevant only when leaders believed that the target is extremely important and cannot be reliably destroyed by any other means. And this is where the B-61-13 fits. The Pentagon has said that the bomb will provide additional options against certain harder large area military targets. The phrase large area military targets is important. This weapon is not only about the single underground chamber. It may also be intended for sprawling military installations, command complexes, hardened missile sites or strategic facilities where one high-yield weapon could destroy several connected elements at once. The bomb is expected to be carried by strategic aircrafts such as the B-2 Spirit and, in the future, the B-21 Raider. The stealth and the range are designed for heavily defended airspaces. A bomber also gives the president something that a ballistic missile cannot provide: recall. It can be launched as a signal and turned back before the release. That makes a nuclear-capable bomber both a weapon and also a message. So what you see on YouTube is only part of the story, because TBN Israel brings honest first-hand coverage from the ground in Israel to viewers around the world. So if you want to be part and receive daily updates behind the scene to get a closer and a first-hand report and stories of faith, resilience, and hope from Israel, go to tbn.org/journeys/boots. All text boots to 316-316 for direct updates from TBN Israel, from Mati Shoshani and myself, Yair Pinto, from the land. We need your help in sharing the truth and in praying for the peace of Jerusalem. You can do that also by hitting the subscribe button, leaving a comment, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with your friends. Now let's get back to this B6113 program that moved unusually quickly. The first production unit was completed in May 2025, nearly 1 year ahead of the original schedule. When in July 2026, the National Nuclear Security Administration announced that all of the canned sub-assembles planned for the 2026 physical year had been completed 3 months early. A canned sub-assembly is a critical component associated with the secondary stage of the thermonuclear weapon. When those units receive their official diamond stamp, they are certified as meeting the quality requirements for a nuclear stockpile. The phrase 3 months early sounds as if the United States suddenly rushed an entire nuclear bomb into service because of the war with Iran. That's not what happened, because the first production unit had already been completed in 2025. The new announcement concerned the scheduled internal components for fiscal year of 2026, so completing them early matters. Nuclear weapons require specialized materials, secure facilities, strict quality controls, and rare technical expertise. So finishing ahead of schedule shows that the United States is rebuilding a production system that slowed after the Cold War, while sending a deterrent message to every government watching American military capabilities. The B6113 does not officially increase the total size of the planned American nuclear stockpile. The United States intend to produce it within the number of B6112 bombs that had already been planned. In other words, some planned B6112 production will be replaced by B6113 production. And the goal is not simply to add more bombs, it is to change the mix of capabilities that are available to the President of the United States. This also connects to the future of the B-83-1, which is the most powerful gravity bomb remaining in the active American arsenal. The B-83-1 has a maximum yield of approximately 1.2 megatons, far greater than the estimated yield of the B-6113. But the B-83 is an older version, and the United States has been moving towards its retirement. The B-6113 does not fully replace that enormous explosive power. Instead, it provides a newer, more accurate, and more flexible option for some of the missions that planners worry could be lost as the B-83 leaves service.
Natural gas does more than heat your home. From backyard grills to inviting fire pits, it fuels the moments that bring us together. Visit naturalgasmain.com to learn more.
Everything's closed here, and you're driving around the parking lot.
You have a closing call with an important customer in an hour, but the sales order isn't ready. The quantities are incorrect, one page is sideways, and it still needs your signature. In high-stakes moments, you don't have time to hunt through menus or learn how to use a new tool. Adobe Acrobat's AI Assistant lets you execute complex tasks with simple chat commands. First, let's update the quantity. I'll ask AI Assistant to find and replace 5,000 with 5,500. AI Assistant updates the volume across the document instantly. Now let's tackle that sideways page. No need to dig for tools, just type rotate page 6. AI Assistant fixes the orientation immediately. Next, we'll need to add your signature. Type sign this document. The Assistant jumps straight into the signature tool so you can sign in seconds. Finally, we'll ask AI Assistant to share this file. The Assistant opens the secure portal directly, letting you hit send with time to spare. What used to be a frantic scramble is now a 60-second workflow.
And now we return to the central question. Under what circumstances could the United States actually use the B-6113? Have any ideas? Let me know in the comments before I continue. Okay, so the American policy does not provide a simple public checklist. The stated position is that nuclear weapons would be considered only in extreme circumstances to defend the vital interests of the United States, its allies, or its partners. The decision to authorize this use belongs to the President of the United States. Congress does not have to vote before the President can issue a nuclear use order. Although the military chain of command must verify that the order is authentic and lawful. In practice, using the B-6113 would be one of the most consequential decisions in history. The President would have to consider military necessity, civilian casualties, fallout, allied reactions, and the danger of a wider escalation. He would also have to decide whether a nuclear strike will achieve the objective or create a larger strategic disaster. Against Iran, the threshold would be especially high. Iran does not currently possess a dedicated operational nuclear arsenal. Using an American nuclear weapon against a non-nuclear armed state would break a taboo that has held since 1945. It could isolate the United States diplomatically, trigger retaliation across the Middle East, endanger the American forces, and encourage more countries to pressure and pursue nuclear weapons of their own. That's why the most likely role of the B-6113 is deterrence. Its purpose is to make an enemy uncertain. A government building a deep bunker must ask whether the bunker is deep enough. A military commander moving assets underground must ask whether those assets can still survive. A nuclear-armed rival must ask whether an attack on the United States or its allies could place even its most protected facilities at risk. Deterrence works, but through fear, but it also works through doubt. The enemy does not need to know exactly how the bomb would be used. It only needs to believe that the United States has a credible weapon, a capable delivery aircraft, and a president who could authorize the mission under extreme conditions. The current war with Iran gives this discussion immediate relevance, but it should not be allowed to restore and to distort the facts. B-6113 is not a normal weapon for the campaign over the Strait of Hormuz. It's not a substitute for Tomahawk missiles, bunker-busting conventional bombs, naval blockades, or air defensive suppression. It's a strategic reserve for a crisis in which the president believes that the ordinary military tools are no longer enough. For now, the United States still has many conventional options. It can keep attacking missiles and missile forces, command centers, naval units, logistical routes, air defenses, and underground entrances. It can tighten the blockade, use cyber and intelligence operations, reinforce allies, and reposition forces without crossing the nuclear threshold. But every conventional strike also carries a message about escalation. Iran is being shown that its military infrastructure can be mapped, isolated, and attacked. The B-6113 adds a darker message behind that campaign. It tells Tehran and every other adversary that the United States is also modernizing the weapons that it reserves for the most extreme possible war. The B-6113 is not proof that the United States is preparing to use a nuclear weapon against Iran. It is proof that Washington wants every enemy to know that even the deepest target may no longer be beyond its reach. So thank you so much for being with us. If you want to help us share the truth from Jerusalem about what's happening in this war between the United States, Iran, and Israel, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from. It really encourages me and helps us reach more people around the world. The best thing that you can do in this situation is to pray, because this is a spiritual war. And here at TBN Israel, we believe that prayer works. So I'm calling on all of you to unite in prayer for wisdom to our leaders, for the people on the ground, for a change of heart for our enemies, for the children to have a better future, and for the peace of Jerusalem, this city that you can see here right behind me. God is listening, so be encouraged and keep praying.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.
Well, that's
one decision that I'm most proud of is definitely signing on to go back to school, fulfilling a dream I didn't realize I had. You can do this. It doesn't matter what is happening in your life. This is a doable thing.
What do they call that when they do
Why did you call the police and say I was being harassed? Because now I'm going to go to jail because you want to call the police and say I'm being harassed because I don't want to be with you. What did you do with that from earlier? We're talking to you now. So...
Right, because you have the large scale. Exactly, that's what I was trying to think of.
I'm putting it out. Hold on, I just want to turn the flashlight on.
Yes, thank you. Yes, exactly.
It's on right now. It's on. Alright. No. I can put my phone right here. It's safe. So, where does it come? That's my wallet. Alright, I don't understand, like... How much have you ever done? Alright, I was here. Yes. I met with a friend. Went back to the house. When I had sex, I said, no, bring me back here. Husband found out. Flipping out, calling my daughter. He has a restraining order against her. All of a sudden, I don't know, like, what the hell is going on right now.
Let me recount to you. Do you want to hear what happened?
Yeah, you can tell me.
You've been involved the whole time.
No, you can tell me what happened on your end, and then I know what happened on my end.
Everything's been recorded.
And everything's been recorded here, too. So...
No, the conversations you and I had on the phone have already been recorded. And you driving through the parking lot.
Alright.
Okay.
I didn't drive through the parking lot.
You called Damien and said, someone's touching me inappropriately. He said, where are you? You said, I'm at the auto credit by C75. Our officer's been looking for you for a while, didn't find you. I came down here, I saw your car parked. I called Damien, let him know your car, that his daughter's car is parked here. And she can come get it.
It's like the classic kind of
situation. You were gone. I drove past. I saw your vehicle parked here.
Okay, look at Damien.
No, stop. I saw your
yeah,
vehicle
these
parked here.
things that are good for
So I go in there,
educational
I turn
purposes,
around,
for
wait
sure.
for another unit to come, and as I'm coming back up, you're driving through the parking lot. You see me, so you back up, and then you park right here in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and some of those classes too, they'll do the before, like why would you even go out doing that stuff? It helps with the prevention of people even putting themselves in those positions, and it's not worth it. For one.
You've been drinking, you've been driving a vehicle, and you've been giving me false information.
Listen, you just said Damien.
Yeah, it can be difficult when you have, certain people being kind of dogpiled on and tag team. So
And he wants to, like, we're in a divorce, and he does not want to accept that. So he knows I went on.
is it funner than playing Uno?
He somehow knows how to get my
I guess it depends on who you're playing with.
do whatever with anything. It's a mess.
Some pun intended.
I don't know what the fuck you want from me or any of that, but he is
Oh, yeah.
He has a big ass monitor with his head.
Some pun. Some pun. Some pun. Sunpen.
He's not have no contact with my daughter.
What could you sell at a Sunpen shop?
The person that owns this farm, none.
A bit of honey?
So, if he has any contact with
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, just from planetary.
No, there was a walking something.
When I pulled up, you were getting out of the driver's seat.
Damien's actually right here. He's on the side.
Oh, kind of like a gag store? Yeah, that would be cool. I used to love those kind of gag stores. It depends though, because there's a different variety. If you say gag store, and then you see, oh look, a gag store, and you expect certain things, and then this is not the kind of gags I'm talking about. I know. I remember that when it was kind of like a lot of fun and different things like that. And then it seemed like, yeah, in the 90s, certain ones. Oh, yeah. Spencer's, yeah, I remember that. That's not, I wouldn't say that's a gag store, but yeah, in that kind of line.
Do you have any questions about the rights that I've read you? Do you have any questions about the rights that I've read you?
Yeah, like kind of fun, puzzle, mind games, jokes, fun, clean, safe, pranks, and it helps to teach the difference, between safe and not safe. They begin to recognize that at a really early age, like squirting flowers. It's harmless, right? Well, be careful, someone might have put acid in it. You're gonna go blind. So, okay, no more squirting flowers. Right, even though it's harmless, like to make them think it's okay just to go up and squirt something on someone, probably not a good idea, right? Right, but and that's another thing you could teach, where it's for fun to play with, not to go up to somebody unexpectedly. Right, unless, there are going to be situations where it's like you're at home and you tell the 5-year-old, go get your grandmother, escort her. And she'll scream and we'll all laugh.
Why are you pulling me? Why did you just touch my boob?
I'm not touching it.
Oh my God.
Look at my camera, it's pointing right at you.
I know, when you see it, and it's so thick like that, you wonder what the frick.
Your cooperation is going to help out.
Your cooperation. In prison.
Oh, I'm not watching this whole thing. Holy crap, this goes on for how long? Let's just see the end. What was that? Why do they have to go to a few different places or what?
Like doing this, that, and the other, which I'm not. So.
Really sad that people are losing their jobs. I never want to see people lose a job at a place, because I know there's a lot of people that work at Red Robin, okay? And a lot of people are probably mad if they listen to this. They're like, shut up, you fat fuck. What should we do? I get it. I stand with you. But you need to find a new scam. Because these theme restaurants where parents unload a station wagon of fatties to get sticky with this chemical sludge is not going to work. People are too hip for it. It's not going to work. Okay? Because people they would just rather go to the fast casual, to Jersey Mike's and stuff like that. And you know what happens to those restaurants? Torchy's Tacos or recently, private equity buys those restaurants and ruins them. And by the way, they're not great restaurants to begin with, but private equity
Lucky,
like
third
Blackstone
DUI,
Group,
only
Steve
60
Schwartz, and all those
days.
guys, they
Some
go
states, I think
in to
it's a
Jersey Mike's and go,
Is it 90?
cut the portion size and
Maybe
start
I'm thinking of something
using
else.
less of the things. Don't pack it with the vegetables anymore. Then he start fucking you over. And I'm not saying you have to eat the whole Jersey Mike's. Sometimes people would eat half of it and then bring the other half home. They'd get 2 meals out of it. The Blackstone Group don't want that. You don't get 2 meals out of the footlong anymore. They're shrinking the portions, and the food's not as good, and they're cutting corners, and they're moving to kiosks so you don't see a human being when you walk in. That's what private equity is doing. They're going, hey,
So yeah, there are the states that will enforce mandatory minimum jail or custody sentence for 90 days for a third DUIs: Kansas, Oregon, and Virginia.
that's it. Food service space, whatever.
So yeah, that was 60, a different state. So those 3 states, it's a mandatory minimum of 90
We're going to
days.
determine, like Israel does for Gaza, the exact calorie amount you need to live, and that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to roll here at the New Jersey Mike's private equity version, where you're treated
Within
like a
10
prisoner.
years, yeah.
And you're going to order at a kiosk, and then a disinterested Central American who does not speak English and doesn't know where they are is going to, and they're lovely people, but they're going to hand you a shitty sandwich and
Oregon. So in Kansas, you get the 90 days, and you cannot get probation or parole until those 90 days are fully served. And in Oregon, if you get a third one, your driving license gets permanently lifetime revocation.
Operating expenses, bring in the robots, and make it, because they go, it's all monopolies, you don't have any choice, and what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? There's not a sandwich shop like a mom and pop. They're out of business. You want a sandwich, you're going to Jersey Mike's, or you're going to a grocery store and making it yourself. So if you're on a break at work, you got to go to Jersey Mike's, and we're just going to feed you like you're in prison. And there's nothing you can do about it.
If you get 3 within 5 years in Virginia, it's a mandatory 6 months in jail.
And we're going to take people out of it, we're going to put in kiosks, and we're going to staff it with people that got to the country 10 minutes ago, and none of them speak the language. And again, it's not their fault. They're here, and they were brought in so that your kid can't do that job. They're brought in so that your child, who just got his working papers or her working papers, they can't do that job. So now they're on in a mall parking lot filming someone's death. A Central American migrant is handing you a sandwich
Just reading this
that was
tagline.
made to get Steve Schwartzman a 19th house. You know, and that's the way we're going to run our country. And that's it. And you'll eat your shitty Jersey Mike sandwich in a car, and you'll order it at a kiosk. And that's what we're going to do. That's all. And if you, like my father worked at Lowe's when he was getting divorced from my mother. My father got a side job at Lowe's. The store. People work at things like this, by the way. There's this idea that, like, everyone doesn't do that. People have those jobs. I don't know when this idea happened in our country that, like, nobody would have a job like that. People had their job. My dad worked at Lowe's, the home improvement store, while he was getting divorced by my mother because they got extra money. And he got a job at Lowe's, he got a job working at Lowe's. And those are the people, certainly that are
Dude, the guy took the seagull's head off for eating his kids' fries, and now they're going after him. You gotta be kidding. Remember when we used to feed them Alka-Seltzer and they'd blow up? But that's not true. They really do. It makes their, it's not good for their stomachs. When we were kids, people had told us to do that. I never did it. I never fed any seagulls Alka-Seltzer. Nope, never once did it, because they said they'd explode if you did. So there were people actually going around doing it and waiting for them to explode. It's like, why would you do that? You just gave them an upset tummy. I know, right? Insane. I know, but...
We don't care about you. We go at you every way we can. We will take the jobs. We'll also say, if you want to have lunch, we got a private equity company owns that. And you'll eat like you're
Oh, yeah, I mean, you could understand in a public place like that, and to do that. Yeah, it's a little much, yeah. I could understand going to question somebody who tore off a seagull's head on the beach, yes. Insane.
It's going away, and it's sad. It is.
Or I don't know if he tore it off or cut it off. Right?
By the way, look at this. I want you to look for a minute at this. This will be stunning.
bitter on her face.
Historically, it will be studied.
Now
Where they
it's
go, what
almost bitter on the
happened
face.
here?
That's a little different than
What
being
happened?
attacked by a swarm
There's a
of
lovely
seagulls.
looking woman whose name is Maya. A little ethnically ambiguous. Love that for her. This is a Red Robin commercial. She is walking out with 2 stacks of what it looks like 5 cheeseburgers on top of each other, each of them with 2 patties on it, and they're sliders, but they're the size of a burger that you would eat in Europe, and then not eat again for 6-7 hours. But there's 10 of them, and they are appetizers. They are sent to the table before your actual burger. Red Robin's kind of a burger restaurant, so there are towers of sliders. What do you think you're ordering after that? A chicken Caesar salad? No, another burger, a bigger burger with more shit on it. Now, Red Robin's got burgers with guacamole and barbecue sauce and blue cheese, and it's just like
I
it
wish
never
the answer
stops.
was a little bit more clear here. Just tell them
But
this is an
they
investigation.
start you
You're
off
involved. There may have been a crime
towers
committed.
of
I'm trying to figure
burgers,
it
little
out.
burgers, to
Lawfully,
get ready
you
for the
have to
bigger
give
burger.
me your identification. If you don't, you go to jail.
Is no longer like if you're sitting there and you have a little bit of an overweight child. If a child that's exhibiting the tendency to be a little overweight, and you are sitting there, and I was this child, so don't talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. You're sitting there, and the waitress puts down the tower of burgers, and the little fatty's eyes on you. You realize you're his pusher. You're his drug dealer.
It is kind of unbelievable what this guy thinks is strange that he would be questioned about tearing the head off a seagull. It's pretty severe.
Fat, sugar, and I'm not saying you shouldn't like food, love food, or appreciate food. Many people in the world don't have it. But this disgusting pornography.
What if he were to have let his dog eat
Burgers
it?
stacked on top of each other. You're teaching your children that food is some type of circus where their job is to be impressed and wowed and bowled over by the fact that the food doesn't even look like food. It looks inhuman. It looks like some type of strange fucking, thing that would come to you in a dream. It's a cartoon. It's like these dad sandwiches. It like...
Had to think a while for that one.
That's not food. It's frankenfood. It's a novelty item. And it hits the table, and if you're a parent and you see your fat little child grab one of the burgers and start wolfing it down his face, if you have any conscience, any decency, you go, this is bad. This is wrong. I'm killing you. I'm killing you. Let's watch the rest of this.
The difference between
Well, yeah, not to mention the little girls right there watching that. It's not that hard to scare off seagulls. Tell your friends.
The commercial is a waitress running around with the slider turns, and people in the restaurant begin to attack her to get the food.
Down in those brewskis.
Is that not what the commercial is? Yeah, so the commercial is she's walking with these slider towers, and everyone in the restaurant gets up and starts to try to physically maim her to get them. So get that out of here. But my point is that scams can only run a certain amount of time before you have to move on from it.
Because it's a migratory bird. So, in cultural food prohibitions,
They're still killing people. Maybe I should shut my mouth. They're still killing motherfuckers. They're still killing people.
a fairly recent addition to cultural food prohibitions is the meat and eggs of endangered species or animals that are otherwise protected by law or international treaty. Examples of such protected species include whales, sea turtles, and migratory birds. I don't think so.
To determine the cause of death had been opened and an autopsy is to be carried out. This is what they call tying up the loose ends.
Most seagulls are migratory. So yeah, that's not good.
This guy's unbelievable.
you know, when they have to. They kill people when they have to. Like, well, he's being investigated, da-da-da-da-da. Let's just minimize risk and get him out of here.
Unreal.
He was providing, and he was well connected to the modeling world and also worked as a scout on commission for Jean-Luc Brunel, who was a leading agent in Paris, New York, Miami for decades. Brunel killed himself in prison in February 2022 after spending 14 months in custody awaiting trial on charges of rape, minors, and sexual harassment.
It is illegal to kill a seagull.
Modeling world is a funnel to this other world. Now, I was never in the modeling world. Now, many people thought that that's
I'm not
odd.
sure what these guys are right here. I don't see firearms.
You can't. You cannot kill them, harm, capture, sell, or transport seagulls, and you can't damage their nests or eggs either.
It is uncomfortable.
It's a Wildlife Countryside Act from 1981.
International modeling community. I've never seen, I want to address it on the show, in any of the model events that I've been at, I've never seen anything untoward. I've never witnessed anything, and I am, I wouldn't say a fixture, but I am someone that...
Right, now if that had been a dog that came up running off a leash to try to grab the French fry, could you pull out your concealed weapon and shoot and kill the dog? Absolutely.
Image, culture, and it is a shallow and hollow call. I pulled myself out of it as I've gotten older. I pulled myself out of it as I've gotten older because I realized how shallow it was and how people wanted interest from my body. And that is thrilling when you're younger, but now I feel as if it's something where I want more of a multi-dimensional experience. And I just felt very one-dimensional. It's like yachts. Enough.
It is. There you go. It is generally illegal to shoot an off-leash dog if it poses an imminent, credible threat, death, or serious bodily harm to a person, or if it is actively attacking livestock. Simply being off-leash, trespassing, barking, or growling does not meet the legal threshold for using legal force.
When I was in Paris.
Right, so it would have had to have been off-leash, and if it came running towards his daughter and tried to grab one of her French fries, it could have bitten her. Not meaning to bite her or hurt her, the poor dog doesn't know any better. But unfortunately, the owner left it off its leash, and it came running towards a child to try to take its French fries, and it got shot. And that's totally legal.
Fun on a boat, being hot with some billionaires.
What do you know?
What's going on? Guys, why has it all gone wrong? Why has it all gone wrong? That's the question. But, there are these yacht parties in all seriousness. That was a bit. I want people to know. I actually, because I know it is confusing. I actually was not a model.
And now it's gone.
But
I don't know.
this world, this modeling world, they have these parties, these yacht parties, where these people are basically like,
I'm not talking to your attorney.
they're basically like, sorry, I'm returning. The RFK called me, he was mad at me about that I said he wasn't doing anything. Supposedly, and here's where I will defend RFK. I do like RFK's family. And I like him, sure. And I did that whole thing about, we want more. I want more. I do. And he fought the glyphosate thing, and they overruled him because we're ruled by corporate oligarchs. And they're not going to let him do anything. And I think some of what he wants to do is probably silly. But some of what, I think he had a thing where he thought the candy fund didn't get AIDS or something. But whatever.
Hey, you know what? If he's not going to cooperate,
supposedly he's actually going to do something with ultra-processed foods that's good. He's going to designate them, and he called me and he goes, hello? I said, hi. How are you? I said, good. He said, someone showed me a clip of you saying I wasn't doing anything, and you played the clip on your show where I hit the yak with my phone. I said, well, yes. I said, I said that because I said, you are are an exciting character, and I think we do have a lot of poisonous food. And I was a victim of this child. I'm not a victim, I'm a willing participant, but a victim. And I think a lot of kids are victims of these corporations that are poisoning fucking kids, man. And he goes, well, of course, I agree with you, but I'm doing a lot behind the scenes that people don't know. We're the first administration to come up with the definition of an ultra-processed food. He goes, I fought the glyphosate battle, and I lost.
So
But I can't
disorderly conduct in
That's what I
every
said. By the way,
state
I
is
will
legal.
correct myself, and I'm a
But
man
in
of my
general,
word.
if you're being loud, swearing,
A
is
man of my
causing public alarm, or you're being loud, swearing, you're
You know,
intoxicated,
can you
you're
get
snatching
something
things
up
out of
about
police
the
officers' hands,
ultra-processed food
refusing to
and
give
see if
something back to them,
because
you could wedge that into a disorderly charge.
behind the
Will it
scenes
fly?
trying.
Depends on the observations.
It's hard, I
witnesses, how well
guess.
you write the report, but yes, he could make an arrest here, especially
What's
the way
happening?
New Jersey has it written, because it's kind of a low bar.
You're gonna get arrested illegally.
I like this 9 hours ago, and by the way, credit where credit is due. Senate advances Maha-friendly bill for food warning labels and junk food ad bans. So they're going to try to put warning labels on food, and they're going to try to ban junk food advertising. By the way, I think that's good. I think that's good.
She knows him. She knows what he's like.
The bill, which would ban junk food advertisements targeted to children and require the Food and Drug Administration to put strong warning labels on ultra-processed foods high in sugar, salt, and saturated fat, was proposed by Senator Bernie Sanders. Wait a minute.
It's a battle just to get him to sign his name. Because he's so drunk, he doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, hold on. An earlier version of the bill died when Sanders introduced back in 2004, but that was before President Trump appointed Maha leader RFK as health secretary. So RFK's on board with it. Good for him on that. Here's the deal. When are we going to wrestle with the fact that both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party forever have just been okay with everyone being poisoned?
I asked him and he didn't
People are
tell
going to
me.
have to
We heard
start
him tell
asking
you
those
multiple.
questions, and unfortunately, it's not going to bode well for fucking Red Robin. Red Robin. I think that, you know, you go to Europe has junk food. Europe has things you can eat that are naughty. No can ever. But here's the deal. Not like we do. Not like we do. We have a carnival of literal horrors that we are feeding the children. And I just want RFK doing more, you know? I mean, I think that's super important. And I think he is trying. I think it's hard. I'll correct myself. He's, you know, he's
Not surprising.
I said I'll go on my show and I'll correct myself if I was wrong, and maybe I am a little bit wrong. You don't have to do that. And to his credit, he said I didn't have to do it. I got slapped every day. So I am a man of my word. I am nothing but a man of my word. So if this guy is trying by this, which I think he is, to truly rein in, because by the way, we should have healthy food. There's no reason we don't have healthy food. Not fucking money. There's so much great produce in the country. A lot of it comes from California.
Great idea. Don't leave the kid.
But by the way,
let her take the kid.
We can have food. We shouldn't have food deserts. Poor people have to eat sludge.
Here we go.
And then their minds and bodies are out of whack. They're chronically ill. They're not capable. And we're doing this on purpose. We're doing it on purpose. People that cannot afford to eat better, a lot of them are like driven to an early grave. Not only that, but the quality of life they have is significantly diminished. So the DSA wants to get on that train, but the more I see of them, they're talking about that calories are white supremacy, body image is white supremacy, and if they keep it, the Democratic Party wants to win, they just have to drop the hatred of white people. They have to drop it. You have to start talking about class. You have to start talking about jobs and healthcare. You got to drop this identity politics shit. It's not going to work. Stop writing articles that Kamala needs to come back. Stop trying to make Pete Buttigieg a thing. He's not a thing. He's not a thing. Give it to John Ossoff. Give it to Andy Bashir. Boring, straight, white. Be done with it. Stop trying to make a point. Stop the theatrical theater kid shit. You're all losing and you've driven your party. The world they don't want is manifesting more and more every single day with all of the actions that they undertake.
I guarantee you he
So
just
this
left it
weird
somewhere and the
theater
worker
kid
probably
energy
picked it up because they didn't
got
want it to get
released to the
stolen.
Democratic
and
Party. I'm
they
going to
gave
end on
it
this,
back.
but let me tell you exactly what. The Republican Party's not immune from this either, by the way. It's this weird, like, strange college energy, like performing arts camp energy that, like, weirdly a lot of people on the right have too. Where
Get him out of there.
not actual actors, actresses, not actual thespians, not actual people in theater whose lives are hard and you do something that they love and it's kind of like underappreciated and they're underpaid and they find the community and none of that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the simulation of that. That's what a theater kid is. It's that with a net. It's being able to pretend that you've made the sacrifices to understand, but you haven't. Because you're a theater kid, and you're at some summer camp, or you're in a high school or college or whatever it is. So you have all that diva behavior with nothing to back it up. And you've not earned it. And you are going out and proclaiming that you are worthy of attention, but you haven't mastered the skill and honed the craft to deserve it. You are a petulant, childish, tantrum throwing.
People walking by noticed they looked like they were alarmed or
That
startled
is
by
the
it.
energy,
Really had no
unfortunately,
purpose, no
of a
reason
lot
to
of
be happening,
people
then that would fit
in
into
both the
disorderly.
Republican and
It looks like
Democratic
pretty
parties right now. The Democratic Party is the one that I focus on because they should win the midterms and then the next election, because the Republican Party is about to put troops on the ground in Iran. Their best idea is to have Lindsey Graham's sister take his Senate seat and vote so that he can go further into World War III while Lindsey Graham sucks cock in another realm. So they rightly should lose. And the Democratic Party, and people get mad at me, what are you saying, there's no deep state? No, dummy.
Correct.
But if the deep state can never be affected or impacted or changed, then why even elect this guy? Why did you all get excited and wear the dumb hats, dummies? Why did you care so much about this guy and his election if this deep state, if you were just going to blame everything on the deep state, then what the hell was the point? Why did you go to the rallies? Were you just trying to go to a concert? And that's really what it was? Did you just like the merch? Why did you care so much about this guy? Why isn't he investigating his own assassination attempt? Talk about the deep state for a minute, by the way. Why don't we know anything about the guy that assassinated him? Okay? Well, tried to. Sorry, attempted. I'm not saying there's no deep. I'm not saying there's not some permanent government apparatus. I've talked about it a million times on the show. I get it. But for the people that ran on upending the deep state to then come in and blame things on the deep state, it seems like you have to be an idiot for that to work. Why were you excited for this guy to win? Why did anyone think it would be interesting for this guy to win if he was just going to do all the things that this deep state wants him to do? What is he doing that they don't like, by the way? Maybe some tariffs that'll just expire the minute he's out of office? He's in Iran. He kidnapped Maduro. Flock cameras are everywhere. The tech people are getting all the money. So who is this deep state again? Who are these people that are really upset and up in arms with him? Who are they? I don't know who they are. He seems to be. What would they want him to do that he's not doing? He seems to be pretty lockstep with all of these people. Surveillance technology is everywhere. Pace at which unregulated AI is going to grow and become a real problem is harrowing. We're about to commit troops to a war with a country and we'll probably lose. That's the other thing. unless we put 1 million people in there and hold their government, and then what'll winning look like? It'll just be tallies of dead people. It's going to be a nightmare. It won't feel like winning. It'll feel like losing, and it'll probably be actually losing too, because there's not much you can do in that country. But again, we're on the brink of that. We're on the brink of that. So again, I'm asking all the smart people. I'm excluding the paid hacker people that are getting paid by this. That's great. Oh, he unwound DEI. Ta-da! Great. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. We've invaded, or you know, we're about to invade Iran.
Everything you do online.
You know, a year and a half into the presidency. He's running crypto scams out of the Oval Office. His family's gotten really rich. Immigration, there's no legislation passed, so everything he's done is executive order and it's all reversible. Whatever. I mean, I don't even, you know, listen, I'm not sitting here chastising people for their beliefs, meaning that you're allowed to believe something that isn't true. That's a great thing about our country. You're allowed to believe something that isn't true. I just don't have to believe it. You can't make me believe it. Because when you talk about this deep state, and I go, well, what would they want? Permanent war? Check. Surveillance? Check. I don't know, it seems like they're pretty happy. Seems like they're pretty happy. You know, it seems like they really didn't like Bernie Sanders. It's deep state. And they probably didn't like Trump early on. I don't know what happened. They certainly didn't like him early on. They seem to have warmed to him now. I don't know what happened. Maybe it has to do with that shooting, but no one will investigate it, so I don't know.
So plates are in
But
plain view, they're in public
I'm a man of my word, and if RFK is trying, then RFK is trying. Heck, you know, you play the video, right? Attack. I hit the yak. I followed. Yes. So I'm a man of my word, and when you're a man of your word, you have to honor your word. I'm an empath. I feel. People are yelling at me, and all of these dorks everywhere are playing my clip about the deep state. It's not that I don't think it exists. It's that, well, then why was there such excitement for Donald Trump? He ran against the permanent uniparty that was sacrificing the middle class in this country, but poor people always, of course. But they were governing at the behest of an elite few people, and he's doing the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out exactly, just think of the symbolism of getting into the White House, and then Elon Musk, who's the richest man in the world at this point. The first few months, he's moved him essentially into the White House. It's this incredibly dysfunctional thing. He's getting in fights with people in the White House, some of them physical. He's getting in a fight with the president. He accuses the president of being in the Epstein file, and the president, like, I don't know, it feels weird to still be jazzed about this. Depending on however jazzed you were about it, seems odd. It seems like a coup. It seems like QAnon ain't happening. It ain't happening. Nobody's getting marched off to Gizmo. It's time to wake up. It's time to turn the computer off and go for a walk. I'm sorry, I know it's upsetting.
Probably start some more units.
Sorry, but it's just there's a reality here that people need to accept. I mean, in my belief, in my estimation. Now they don't have to, and I can't compel them to. It's a great thing about America. You're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. You're allowed to sit there and say, no, Trump has the best of intentions. He just keeps getting thwarted. That's the way they believe. He just keeps getting thwarted. Every time he tries to do something, somebody else there is, you know, like tricking him. He's getting tricked. So, and there are people that will believe that until they're dead. There's people that will go to their grave believing that he was the one true great American patriot hero. The guy that hosted The Apprentice was the one guy that tried to save America, but he was thwarted. You know, and that's okay. They're allowed to do that. If it makes you feel better, something's got to make you feel better. It's either going to be the Red Robin burger skyscraper that they bring out to your table, or it's going to be the idea that Donald Trump was the last great hope of America, but he was thwarted. He was the only one who cared about us. So something's got to make you feel good. Something's got to make you feel good. It's what it is. Something's got to make you feel good. You can get on your knees in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. and suck off a congressional page and then vote to kill everybody. Or you can eat a big onion ring tower at Red Robin, or you can believe that Donald Trump was the only person in our country that ever cared about you. Whatever you need to enjoy your summer. You only get one summer.
Yeah, those spray ones.
To put myself in that suit. And I'll go to jail right now. I'll get arrested. And I'll pull. So do I have a warrant?
Basically, the translation there is, I don't like that you caught me breaking the law.
I mean, yeah. See?
He's got a warrant, too.
A traffic ticket. When I gotta go to court, I can't talk to y'all, but I cannot do that.
There's some more people.
I want my guns back. Why do I gotta go to the judge when a sheriff signs off?
Strong beard on this guy. I have to give it to him. Very nice.
What is that?
All lined up.
What's that? Alright, fight back, bro. Isaiah, I'm gonna fight back.
Fight back.
Don't mind. Can you step out? No, I'm not stepping out, man. Why not?
He ain't cool.
No, why would I keep my... Okay, Isaiah, listen. Alright, so I saw you drive, okay? We're gonna be beyond that. I don't care about that, okay? You're suspended. I'm not gonna give you any tickets or anything like that, alright?
Some cops would say at this point, enough talking, rip him out of the car, grab him, you gave him an next order, you didn't do it. But I will say, in some cases, somebody this argumentative, if you talk to them just a little bit longer, they will change their tune and cooperate. It does happen, and that's ultimately what we want, so it's worth a shot.
We're gonna leave your car here. We're gonna try to make sure if they're okay, if we can leave it here, but unfortunately the thing is you're gonna have to come with me because I got a ticket to King County. For what? Because you have a warrant. I'm not going to King County. Alright. They already got a lawsuit on me. So if y'all want another one for walking up on me, like.
It's a warrant. In our system, and it's valid.
Okay. I already talked. Don't open my door. I said you're gonna have to come with us, okay? Bro. Okay.
It's gonna be on.
I'm not. Isaiah. Listen, hey, dude. Alright. It's just blown up. What's today? Sunday? Yeah.
So obviously he's not going to take any ownership of this. I had a very similar situation where a guy had a warrant, he was arguing he would get on the car, actually let him call his attorney, and the attorney told him, comply with the police, just go with it, and it worked out.
You need a warrant to go in my house, you need a warrant to get me out this car. And when I pull off, you can pull me over. A warrant for what? Can you show me the warrant?
Probably just up here.
I'm doing you a favor by not giving you a ticket, and I'm not towing the car. Okay? I wish y'all would. So you'd rather have the car towed and pay $500 fee and go to court again, Cook County? Probably get another charge on that.
The only thing that will satisfy him, you can tell, is
Now you're gonna pay, baby.
all the cops just walking away, pretending this never happened.
I'm gonna show y'all some papers. Alright, let's not reach the heck.
Yeah, not a fan of all the reach.
Now you're coming over here threatening me. Am I threatening you? Yes, you are. You want to on me, bro. No, I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm trying to do this. I don't give a shit. You're suspended license. I don't want you to tickets. I don't want you to get another court case. I don't want to tow your car.
So much for the group project.
This is the group.
Watch strap is about to break, and the blue line bracelet he has on his right hand.
Some really interesting innovations are happening on the driving front, specifically around the types of materials that companies are using. Now, drivers, they used to be made of these big lumps of the same material, persimmon or steel, but now companies like Chrysler are using
different kinds of materials. And then they're combining them together so that they can move the weight of the driver around in all these interesting ways. Anyway, to learn more about Titleist's GTS line of drivers and how I can use it to improve my own game, I went to one of my favorite places on Earth, the Titleist Performance Institute in Oceanside, California. So you just hit some more shots of the game. I want to talk through some numbers and kind of what we've seen with this. So there's occasions where you pointed out at the start of the fit-in that occasionally you can see this left shot come into play, the low spins. But you've also shown something where you can actually spin it, catching it a little bit towards the heel, but a little bit high into the right. So your spin differential can change kind of between 1500 RPM. Because I'm overcompensating for the thing I don't want to see, and all of a sudden the spin's just going. Absolutely. So you're really, in fairness to you, as any good golf would, you're trying to make this work. You've seen something go left, you then go right to combat it, and then at some point you'll find the middle. But when you're playing golf, 6-7 holes in, when you find that middle, it's sometimes the damage is done. So really our goal today is to try and harness the good things, the speed that you've got, the fact you can hit a high ball with little spin, pushing a really good spot for some opportunity, but we've just got to tighten up some of that dispersion and some of the consistency and keep that ball kind of down fairway 9 times out of 10. So when we look at a driver, what are 2 things that you would like with a driver? Distance and consistency. Perfect, right? So we would call it in our terminology here speed and stability, right? And it's really hard to get a driver that does both. You've seen drivers before, when you give somebody tons of speed, it's not very stable. Then you give somebody tons of stability, aerodynamics, weights, it takes a little bit of speed off, yeah, and it can be high, it can be spinning. So we look at our GT driver that is very fast and really good drivers, like how do we improve GT without sacrificing one or the other and giving somebody both? So we're taking weight, to your point saying a slide to, we're taking weight out the middle. So we out the middle, so right around this whole thing here, yeah. Okay. So that PMP material. If you listen carefully, Louis just said PMP material. To explain just what that is, we brought in Dr. Chuck Golden, Senior Vice President of Golf Club R&D at Titleist to explain. Chuck?
Proprietary matrix polymer, or PMP. What is it? Traditionally, in drive design, there's been a trade-off between center of gravity depth and moment of inertia. PMP really allows us to design a driver in this space. So now you get low forward CG, high MOI, good stability, and oh, by the way, best-in-class aerodynamics.
Thanks, Chuck.
What that reaction is, how it can unfold, and most importantly, what you need to know to reduce the risk of this happening to you or someone that you care about. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Joseph McDurran. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist. I used to work with the FDA, and I'm an expert in adverse reactions and psychiatric side effects. Let's get into it. Now, everything that's happened with Dr. Peterson has surrounded a class of medications called benzodiazepines. These are sedative medications that slow the brain down. And common benzodiazepines are things like Xanax, Klonopin, and Valium. Now, these drugs are typically given out for anxiety and depression. However, because they cause a physiological dependence, most doctors do not recommend taking them long term. And this didn't just happen to Dr. Peterson. This is in fact happening to many Americans around the country. Because as you can see in this graphic here, which shows all the psychiatric medication use, for both women here on the left and for men, this sort of red dotted line that you're seeing here, this represents benzodiazepines. And as you can see, these are the second most commonly prescribed psychiatric medications out there. And so if we look over here, if you're age 50 and a female, roughly 10% of women over age 50 are on these medications. And then for men, roughly 5% of men over age 50 are on these medications. That's 1 in 20. Now, the first thing I want to show you is Dr. Peterson explaining to Joe Rogan how he got on these medications to begin with. Let's go.
What was stressful when I first got it, I've had a history of depression, and that runs in my family, and that probably stems back for me right to the time when I was a kid. And I think when I really got sick in 2016, it was partly a manifestation of that. But at the time, my job was threatened.
That's totally for them.
Like actually, yeah. And my clinical practice was threatened. And the Canadian Revenue Agency was after me all at the same time. And they were after me because of a mistake they had made, which they admitted 3 months later. And the college was after me because of a vindictive client who came after me with packed lies because they were saying, and basically I emerged. from that unscathed, but that was by no means obvious that that was going to be the case. I was accused of sexual misconduct. And the evidence, when I was dealing with this client, I turned my wedding ring around.
You spin it?
Well, I play with it.
Right. And that was sexual misconduct?
Yeah, well, to her it was a signal of some dark underlying desire that that was polluting our therapeutic relationship.
Unfortunately, when you're dealing with people that are extremely troubled, oftentimes they look for external reasons why they're troubled. They find oppressors.
Well, she was also angry with me because when all this blew up around me, it was my clinical practice. She had come to rely on our weekly meetings. And so she was angry about being abandoned. And it was really sad because I didn't want to abandon my clients, but I had to stop my clinical practice, which was also very upsetting to me because I had like 20 clients and I knew these people, man. I knew these people. You know, I told them through thick and thin. And then all of a sudden, so many things piled up around me that I found when I was in a clinical session that I was distracted. So you can't be distracted in a clinical session.
Right.
And so, anyways, what emerged from that, and it was in the middle of the winter, and that seasonal affective disorder, I couldn't sleep at all for quite a long time. I went to my doctor and I said, I can't sleep. A sleeping medication and an anti-anxiety drug, and I took a little bit of the anti-anxiety drug and I could sleep.
So that was Clonopin, 0.25 milligrams twice a day.
And my life was pretty stressful, and I thought, okay, I'm much better. I just believe this is working.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. And my main commentary on this is so human and completely understandable. So Dr. Peterson, he has a history of depression. He's talked about it for a long time. Also some autoimmune problems as well. And so he's got that in the background. But on top of that, 2016, he experiences unprecedented levels of fame because he really is sort of pushing back against a woke agenda, and it's around the whole transgender issue. And he gets thrown into the international spotlight. His work is threatened, tax situations, clients are unhappy, not able to focus, struggling to sleep. When all of these things pile up on you, and you can't sleep, and you're feeling awful, and you can't even focus at work, most of us would want to reach out for a medication. And, Jordan Peterson's been very open. He's taken antidepressants before, and so he's familiar with that. So it's really easy to see how he ends up on this medication. He just starts taking it, trusting it, because he's taken other psychiatric medications in the past. So I'm going to jump forward now and show you some clips from a different interview that he did with his daughter, Michaela. And just to provide a timeline, Jordan becomes really famous in 2016, and this interview with Michaela that you're about to see, I believe it's in 2020. So he's on the medication for about 4 years when he starts to get really, really sick. And the condition that he's experiencing is a condition called VID. It stands for benzodiazepine-induced neurological dysfunction. And essentially, it's a type of neurotoxicity that happens when you take benzodiazepines long term. This does not happen in everyone, but there is a substantial minority of patients where this drug actually hurts their brain over time, and they get sicker, almost like chemotherapy or some kind of toxic reaction. It actually...
So much for the group project.
This is the group. Dunzo. Project rendered super fast.
Looks like Terry's no longer in the group.
Start strong with an Intel Core ultra-powered laptop at Best Buy.
Some really interesting innovations are happening.
And people feel sicker over time. Now, as you can see here from this article from Alexis Ritvo and the Colorado Consortium, these are academics out of Colorado, benzodiazepine-induced neurological dysfunction has only been recently identified. And so this article was published in 2023. Now, this has been going on for a long time, but it's only experienced widespread recognition recently. And this condition causes several symptoms, and I'm going to go over some of them that you'll see here in this article. Now, here's a table of all of the symptoms. The symptoms are listed on the left, and on the right, you see duration of symptoms where survey respondents, there's been 1,200 of them who have suffered from this condition, have rated in percentages how long it lasted for. So, if this one says 51%, so this means 51% of people experienced low energy for years. And so there are a few symptoms here from VID that I want to bring your attention to, because this is things that Jordan has talked about experiencing. So firstly is akathisia, this need to move around in pace. You'll hear him describe that. We also have things like balance problems, heart rhythm irregularities, blood pressure issues, and this can make it seem like you're dying of another condition. A lot of people don't relate this back to benzos. There are things like stabbing pains, burning, aching sensations, or joint pains. Many of these patients have neurological symptoms in their hands. They feel numb, sleep disturbances as well, difficulty focusing, sensitivity to noise and light. There are a whole host of very uncomfortable symptoms that hit people who suffer from this condition. Now, when we listen to this report shortly, you'll notice that Jordan slowly notices the onset of this toxicity, starts to feel worse. He'll actually describe feeling weak, detached, and feeling less joyful, and then experiencing very severe anxiety. He's also going to report that when he goes into a higher dose, it makes him worse, which is a sign that he's having a drug toxicity. Because usually if you're taking an anti-anxiety med like Klonopin, if you go to a higher dose, your symptoms of anxiety go down. But if you do that and you get worse, it's a sign the drug is toxic to your nervous system. Anyway, let's jump into it and have a listen to him talking to his daughter.
But I took the benzodiazepine the way that it was prescribed, twice a day, 0.25 milligrams, and that seemed to bring the symptoms to a pretty rapid halt, which is also part of the reason I didn't need to innovate. And then there were so many other things going on around me at that time that I never really thought about it again. You know, I thought that it was a relatively harmless drug, and I was taking it in a prescribed fashion at not too high a dose, and I developed symptoms that I now recognize were associated with its use. Weakness on my left side, and like a feeling of detachment from the people around me, people I love, some decrease in the ability to experience joy. But it wasn't until much later that I actually associated with benzodiazepine use.
Yeah.
And, well, when your mom got so sick, my anxiety levels have been climbing up again.
Yeah, that was unbearable. I mean, the response I had, if you're told your parent or your wife of almost 30 years has no chance and is going to be dead in the next 10 months. That's what we were told. That surgery doesn't help and that chemo doesn't help and that this is a fast-growing cancer and you're screwed no matter what. That's what we heard in one day. So yeah, anxiety.
We went all over North America, to New York and to Houston and to LA, looking for different opinions before we decided to settle on surgery. But
and everyone gave us the same opinion.
Yes, which was that nothing is going to help, but surgery was probably the best low probability bet.
Yeah.
So I asked my doctor to increase the benzodiazepine dose, but what seemed to happen as a consequence of that was that I just got more anxious. So again, in retrospect, it seems like I had a rather uncommon but not unheard of reaction to benzodiazepines, where increased dose makes anxiety worse instead of better. So then at one point when things weren't getting better and Tammy was still in the hospital, I was trying to take care of her and we had lots of help, I stopped taking them entirely.
Okay, so let's stop there for a second. So to recap, at this point when his wife gets diagnosed with cancer, he's been on them for several years now. It's probably around 3 years. Already, in retrospect, he's noticing the drugs making it worse. The anxiety increases understandably because his partner is potentially going to die, and he increases the dose, and that makes him worse. And so he's dealing with this terrible life stressor and also a kind of smoldering drug toxicity that's slowly hurting his neurons in the background. Now, things start to unravel extremely quickly at this point, because once you've developed this neurotoxicity to the benzos, you start to feel really sick. You go up on the dose, nothing happens. Doctors will start to tell you that you have treatment-resistant depression or severe depression. Many physicians out there do do not recognize benzodiazepine-induced neurological dysfunction or protracted withdrawal. Now, I say that because protracted withdrawal or BIND, that it goes by two names, has only just been added to the drug labels in 2021. So this is the drug label from Xanax XR, and it talks about how symptoms, protracted withdrawal symptoms or BIND, can last more than 12 months, and they can include symptoms like all of these awful things: anxiety, cognitive impairment, depression, formication, this is the feeling like insects are crawling on your skin, motor symptoms, muscle weakness, tremors, paresthesias, this is like numbness, tingling, tinnitus, this earring. And so many doctors don't recognize this. Now, what Jordan is about to describe is that his doctors start to panic. And I imagine in the background they're saying, well, you probably have severe depression, let's put you on ketamine. And you can't take ketamine while you're on benzos, because some of the science shows that benzodiazepines will block the effect of ketamine, because they put him through a rapid tapering. So he says he comes off them for about a week, but he gets substantially worse. For many of my patients, and I treat a lot of these folks with benzo injuries, you can kind of have this smoldering toxicity building up where you're getting sicker and sicker, but your nervous system is very unstable because the neurons are hurt. If you then throw it into an acute withdrawal, you are extremely sensitive to it, but not only is it very painful physically and emotionally to go into the withdrawal itself can be harmful. And that's why we use this term protracted withdrawal injury a lot in the drug withdrawal space, because for many patients, what they notice is that when they come off the drugs very rapidly, they have an electrical storm in the brain, severe symptoms, they then try and go back on the drug, and those symptoms don't go away. And the reason the symptoms don't go away after that severe withdrawal, which has totally turned their life upside down, is they're not withdrawal symptoms anymore. It's just a sign of further neurological damage. It's like a second hit to the brain. So he's had one hit to the brain from just building toxicity over several years. Then when he rapidly comes off, it's another hit. And he's going to describe a little bit more about what that was like. Let's listen.
I tried ketamine, which is a treatment for depression. Well, neither of those were a very good idea as it turned out. So I had to stop taking benzodiazepines entirely and take the ketamine.
Oh, yeah.
Then I didn't go. Then I stayed off them for something approximated once a week, not knowing that was a very bad idea. And I often think I should have known these things because I did a lot of scientific research when I was a graduate student on alcoholism, and I knew that alcohol and benzodiazepines and barbiturates were all the same chemical class, at least in terms of their effect on neurological effects. But what I knew about benzodiazepines was that they were comparatively safe compared to barbiturates, which they basically replaced. But that's much less true than everybody who's taking them hopes.
Now, so barbiturates were the common anxiety sedatives people used to use prior to like the 1950s when benzos came on the market. And it's true, benzos are less likely to cause respiratory depression and make you stop breathing, but they have much worse withdrawal. And, it's not really Dr. Peterson's fault that he didn't know this. I mean, he's a specialist in psychology, but the doctors who are looking after him should have known that if you've been on this drug for like 4 years or something like that, you can't just stop it in a week. That's incredibly destabilizing.
And they're very widely prescribed, and I don't remember what the probability of developing a dependency on them is if you take them for more than 2 weeks. It's 50%, I believe.
It's something like 50%.
Yeah, if you take them for 2 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, and over 4 weeks, it's much, much higher.
Right.
And most people prescribe them, stay on them for life, and that could have something to do with the fact that they're very difficult to get off of.
Yeah, so dependency means if you stay on them for any more than like 2 to 4 weeks, you're physically dependent on it and you will go into withdrawal, and you have to come off in a gradual way, otherwise you get hit with severe anxiety and insomnia, and that's why people get trapped on this drug. And that's why it's really important to only take it short term.
Well, it was unbelievably unpleasant. It was unbearably unpleasant. So I started stopping, started tapering off, when Tammy was in the hospital, but I couldn't push that too fast because it wasn't bearable.
What do you mean it wasn't?
Well, my anxiety levels went higher than anything I'd ever experienced, and I also developed this condition called akathisia. The best way I can describe that is that it was like being jabbed with something, but with a prod, like a cattle prod, something electric or something sharp, non-stop for hours, for all the hours I was awake. It was absolutely, I couldn't sit or lay down or stop moving. And even if I did get up and move, it wasn't like that made it better. I just couldn't stop doing it. It was horrible.
I've worked with many patients who've had this condition. I mean, that sounds awful, but there's really no words to describe how terrible it is. I mean, imagine feeling driven to move every second of the day, never feeling calm, never feeling relaxed, and you're getting electrical shocks that are going down your face and down the back of your neck and your body, and you keep on jolting. And while you're experiencing that, you have cognitive impairment and severe anxiety. You're stuck in the most negative place in the world, where everything is catastrophic and your world is going to end. It can really go on for several months. I've seen this go on for a year in some of my patients before it starts to settle down, and this will make people suicidal.
And things just fell apart more and more. Tammy recovered rather miraculously in the middle of August, but I continued my sort of downhill spiral and ended up in a clinic on the Eastern Seaboard that claimed they could do a rapid benzodiazepine detox, which was a complete bloody lie.
Yeah, well, what we figured was we realized that there was this physical dependency until you stopped to try and do ketamine, and then we tried tapering and you couldn't stand it because of the akathisia. And so we thought, well, let's go get some professional help.
Right.
So Michaela and Dr. Peterson are way more knowledgeable than most people about this subject. But this is where my perspective starts to veer a little bit, and they acknowledge this. Like,